chopping all those fighting souls, but yet across the world I see you standing in my way. And remember the time, the place we used to fight.
What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the Stage 1 playoffs. We are halfway through. We saw 4 teams in, and we've got 4 more to go. I'm Cozy, joined by Shib, and if there's one thing we know, Shib, when you're here, we're not going to get any sweeps on this side of things.
We're just cursing ourselves here, but no. I mean, especially this first game, right? Stickdrift and Thieves. This should be an insane game theoretically. And yeah, man, I'm stoked to be here with you. Thanks for this is gonna be a good one. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I mean, hey, listen, you know, we have some of these teams flown in together. They're playing together all in one house. The others, you know, obviously gonna be playing with some ping, and it doesn't matter. Yeah, we lost, just ended up winning that. And we've got kind of the same story today. Some of these teams are playing as one. I expect 100 Thieves to be in one house, but something like Stickdrift Gaming, they're going to be having some ping, but I don't think it matters. You have the second team in Group A going against what we thought was the group of death, Ship, but all we're seeing so far is it's like the death of some orgs, man. It's been crazy.
I know. And I mean, the crazy thing is we really haven't had eyes on, well, besides the 4 teams that we just witnessed, these teams in the new patch. I think it's going to shake things up. It already kind of has. We're seeing some teams shine, and I'm looking forward to seeing if these teams have adapted and what the changes are in the meta.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, listen, what's great about this first matchup as we bring up Stickdrift Gaming is that really, these two teams have never, you know, gone against each other, and that is going to show. I mean, both these teams did rely on Devil Dinosaur a lot, especially in the tank department. We've been watching them for a while, Shib. I've always been a fan of this team because, you know, there's free agency, a lot of things in the work, but this team has stayed together, and it's kind of led at the helm of Ritas.
Yeah, I mean, this team is incredibly strong. I think they kind of came into their own in the group stages, right? This is a team that, you know, just being candid, I didn't know what to expect from them, and they just started looking very good. Obviously, coming out of it 3-2, which is the exact same situation here for Thieves. So either way, both teams pretty evenly matched up. But yes, this team has definitely been shining throughout the group stages.
Yeah, and with Ritas here, as we take a look at the highlights, obviously Black Hat was dominating, and the Claws have been a bit tamed down, as y'all know, with the balance patch. And so, want to see how they adjust there. Ritas being top 3 in final hits per 10 minutes in the entire world is pretty insane. So Ritas can do so much for that team, and I expect the backline to do just as well. Fun fact, too, this blows my mind, Ship, is that Silent Blaze is the best healing per 10 minutes in the entire America scene as well, with Loken only in 4th. And so both these have a large gap when you look at them compared to 100 Thieves backline, and that could be the answer today.
And Silent Blaze is on the sticks. Shout out controller players. That's something that can kind of give you a little bit of a confidence boost. It can be done. Yeah, Silent Blaze look great. This whole team, man, I didn't know what to expect. And in the group stages, I was like, wait a minute. They might be finding themselves moving forward into the LAN.
For sure, coming from Canada, you know, World Cup doing well as here in Rivals. Love to see it. 100 Thieves on the other side. And, you know, for me, Ship, this team is crazy in the matchup, too, because you've got this kind of new up-and-coming team on the rise trying to prove what they have, you know, and the groups was real. Whereas 100 Thieves, they have that pedigree from last year, but obviously this team can be great, especially when it comes, you know, in the playoffs. But can they rediscover who they are and be in that same dominant form?
Yeah, they're a storied team. They've got a ton of talent. You know, these names at this point are household names. If you're watching Marvel Rivals Ignite at all, Vinny TTK, Delena Self, Winnie and Millennia have, you know, there's been some role swappage in the past way back, but they're kind of locked in now. I think the meta shifted a little more in their favor. Now we're heading back into more of that poke stuff, which I think is good for Thieves as a whole. So looking forward to seeing how they adopt now that Cyclops is in the mix.
Yeah, and what's interesting about this team, right? Delena is one of the best in the world when it comes to damage per second, right? But you got to look at the eliminations and finishing off those, you know, big key moments. And obviously they do have the talent. You can see, as we said earlier, this is the first time they are matching up, which is kind of crazy when you look at all the way back to preseason. These two teams have just not found each other. So no head-to-head tape, right? Nothing to look at, which I think is actually good because of just meta shifts that we just talked about. And someone like, let's say, Vinny, obviously we saw in TTK play a lot of Devil Dino. That's going to be more out the window this time around. So a fresh slate, and we'll see how these teams do. 100 Thieves, though, with Self-Shib having a lot of that, you know, reliance as well on that dive. Daredevil's still good, but Black Cat, that's going to be what I'm interested in seeing.
Yeah, Self's been very dive forward, but also not afraid to pull out the Ultron. I think Triple's still very much in the conversation. You want teams to be afraid because you want to have to remove that Mantis, because that combination with Ultron is essentially like a team up. If Ultron gets that damage boost, it's just so threatening. The ult can obviously be impactful. Yeah, so has the talent to kind of rotate around a bit, but definitely known for that dive. But outside of that, I would say Self had a lot of just huge pop-off games to clutch up for his team. over group stages. I think it kind of made his name even more impactful. So yeah, we'll see what it looks like into Doomed and Redis. I mean, these duelist lines are incredibly strong. I can look at the strat lines you talked about over there from Stickdrift, but it's the same story for 100 Thieves. I think both aside from even Millennia's standpoint coming in, who was initially a duelist, rotated over, and has been a major threat in the back line. They've just got a ton of talent, but the question is, like you said, they haven't matched up. Who's better into whom? Find that out today.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, both going 3-2 in the group, and obviously we've been looking at Group A to Group B, but with Sentinels going down, it shows that 100 Thieves, they probably feel plenty confident. We did get to talk to Self there a little bit in our group stage, and we know they're locked in. We know they're going to be in the house. You see the Pikachu hanging from the hoop. That's just like the sign that they're in the 100 Thieves house ready to roll. It's almost the mascot at this point. But yeah, man, I mean, I feel like this game, man, who does it have more on stakes, right? Like you look at it, Stickdrift, like proving that they're more than this, I'm sure by now, more than the MRC team that they were. But man, to me, it feels like 100 Thieves has easily the most to lose out of this matchup.
Yeah, you want to come in hot. You want to start off here in the playoff stages with a bang because, it is essentially double elimination. You don't want to be knocked down there. You don't want your back against the wall. And while we have seen runs from the lower side bracket all the way through, it just puts yourself in a funky position. Stay confident. I think confidence is key. And although there are some absolute titans here in the Americas regions for the top side of the playoffs, I think you just want to move forward as far as you can on that top side before putting yourself up against that wall and the chance of getting knocked out.
Now, that's a good point. But you know what? If you're Stickdrift or you're a fan of them, I think they match up pretty well to 100 Thieves. Iffy and Tones will be able to handle, I think, what we've seen from TTK. Vinny has a lot to kind of prove here, too. Just in general, the Vanguard play, going back to how they ended the group stage. Want to see how they've evolved as a player, especially in the meta and things mixing up there. Because the backline, I just feel, we talk about survivability and staying alive, is the key word. And that's what they do well in Stickdrift. And so with Redis going against Delina, the matchup on paper does seem like Stickdrift 1-1 is going to look pretty favored in some ways. But 100 Thieves, it's hard to imagine that they didn't do the homework and, rise up with the coach there in Remix.
Yeah, and I do think even on the Vanguard front, like you're mentioning, I think this team plays well in poke metas. I mean, they struggled a bit in the dive stuff, and whether it's a controller conversation for the dive, I think it's very difficult to run things like Venom and Cap super successfully on controller, but on these more poke metas, when you're pulling out the Magneto, the Strange, and you can find some success just blocking a lot of that poke damage and closing those gaps and taking that space for free, I think this is kind of where they shine too. So I don't know, man. I mean, I think this is just their meta to lose. I think Thieves play well in this, and I'm looking to see if they're playing exactly how I imagine them to play. So we'll see shortly. But yeah, Stickdrift, I haven't seen a ton of weakness in terms of meta. It's more so the team we just haven't seen as much in Ignite as a whole. So I'm not sure exactly where their weaknesses lie.
Man, I love these player cams zoomed into the maximum and just showing just complete war in the eyes and ready to go. As our first look here, we had Millennia and was Winnie just a moment ago. Remix is pacing the nerves showing already. And that's one thing to talk about, man, is listen, sometimes the better team can lose because of those nerves, but 100 Thieves in this case, like they've been here, man. They've been in bigger places than this. And as we've continued to look, to the past, this team does well under pressure. And I feel like if you look back towards that last meta, it didn't favor them too well, whereas this one should, complement what they play a lot more, as you said.
No, I couldn't agree more with you. It's so funny. I loved seeing Remix in the background just pacing. As a player, I couldn't tell if that would get me amped or just make me unreal anxious. But either way, I'm sure he's just amped up right now. His energy he brings to the team is definitely impactful. They all got nothing but love for him. They joke around with him, but again, I think it's just a team that's really committed together. And that's what you need right now, especially in the Bright Lights game 1 against a team that's statistically even. I mean, dude, again, in my personal opinion, this should be the best matchup of the day. It's right in the dead center of the bracket. The seeding isn't really that different. This is going to be the one to watch, folks. Strap in and make it known. I'm curious where the betting is going to go in terms of who's going to take this thing home.
Oh, yes. Our Twitch viewers love to throw down the prediction points. And I always say the strategies go against what J3 says. Like, that's like usually how you can get the win there. Hell's Heaven going to be the first map up, ready to go for domination. In the past, has typically favored 100 Thieves, and some Angela play if we do see more of that, a hero that has returned to form in a lot more ways than one. Yeah. Let's break that down because we know about, obviously, the Banthus and what's been going on in the ban phase. But, Shib, on the Vanguard front with Devil Dino taking a seat back, what do you see out there?
Yeah, Dino getting a seat back and her getting a buff because Dino can no longer anti-aerial, which was a big problem for her. Obviously, he's, push immune, which sucks to play as when you are playing as her, but, faster cooldown in terms of her dash speed. It's 4-second cooldown now. You can just dominate the map. I think Angela at this current state of the game is one of the top vanguards to be played, can fit into a ton of different compositions, can kind of play her own game, can be more divey, more annoyance to that back line. Absolutely dominant. And you talked about this map. You had just a ton of off-map opportunity for her. So we definitely will see her played, or maybe last couple bans.
Yeah, and what does Vinny end up picking up? Does he stay on the cap, which was his most played in the group stage? Obviously, the Groot is easily his most damage per second in contribution there. So it'll be interesting to decide what kind of route the 100 Thieves choose to take. And again, if you're just coming in or, just want a refresher on the pick ban, again, Mantis being banned is kind of the new gambit of last season. Mantis is in that priority ship, that triple sup, just going to see no light here when there's so much stakes to be played.
Now, it's a great call out. And then just kind of piggybacking off that, you're going to see Gambit likely get locked, which will force these teams to then remove the Rogue, because Rogue with that team up is an absolute raid boss. Teams are struggling to go against it. But then again, if you've done your homework and you see, hey, maybe this team doesn't run it as well, right? That is something to have in the conversation. I'm not really sure Thieves runs a ton of the Rogue. I have seen some of that play happening from Vinny, actually looked pretty good, but I know for a fact that Stickdrift has that in the bag. So that's all, doing this homework. It's super important at this level of play. There's a ton of options right now. We've seen a ton being played. So I don't know. Let's find out if they have done their homework in just a couple minutes here.
Yeah, players are loading in now. And listen, I got to point this out. This is kind of an interesting fact, because if you look at the Gambits now squeaking through, you know what team had the most Gambit played? Because there's so many that almost forgot how to play Gambit because he's been banned all the time, right? Even in comp games now when he's available, people are like, oh yeah, he's got X, Y, and Z available. Well, 100 Thieves played the most Gambit in the group stage. They didn't, teams did not respect or care if that backline had access to it. So maybe that comes to help them potentially here, because those teams with those kind of third, fourth ban picks are kind of targeting the Lunas, the Rockets, more of that backline.
Yeah, but then the other side of that coin, dude, just like Devil's Advocate is like, maybe they work on it, right? Maybe throughout this last month they're saying, hey, teams are trying to give us this. Should we really lock in case they do let it through, and let's get a couple free wins before they have to rotate their banning strategy? I mean, there's so much mental game in the ban strategy alone, and that's why coaching takes such a big priority. Having a captain seat on the team and giving your influence is super important. I'm with you, buddy. There's so many different avenues to this for this to be played. I think games can absolutely be won before the match even starts.
I mean, listen, you talk about, changing and prepping. It's, we kind of highlighted Silent Blaze being number 1 in healing per 10 minutes. Logan at number 4. On the other side, man, Millennia, 23rd, and Winnie's 15th. So that big gap in just the way they play. And also, you did highlight it, they're a bit more of an offense-focused backline, if you will, rather than just the pure healing. So, can that complement their style of play? And when you're in the playoffs, right, you got to play what you know. Mantis being the first ban. Rogue, as you said, being and following up that second with Stickdrift up next.
Yeah, it makes sense. You see the lock here, and immediately you're thinking, okay, well, we can't allow this through. There's just no way, and there's going to be another lock right back on Gambit. So, we didn't see a lot of Gambit played over the last early group stages, but we will see a ton here in the playoffs just due to the nature of removing that Mantis, so Triple takes a huge hit.
Absolutely. And usually this has kind of been this Luna Rocket stage. Cyclops also been in a mix as well, if you do have the respect there, given obviously we know Delina and Redish would be itching to play the newest hero. And man, just such a devastating hero in so many ways to punish teams and really protect all sides of the coin. Daredevil going to be saved, as we've seen often those teams that have that trust. Obviously, Daredevil did get hit in a lot of ways, the dash, and even took a nerf to his blindness ship, but overall still a very dominant dive hero.
Gotta be just slightly more blind for us here, but no, yeah, still very impactful. I would argue not nearly as impacted as Cat. We've seen Cat actually the first time earlier today, but wasn't an insane influence on the game. Still very strong. I will say Daredevil, on the other hand, is still a huge threat in the very top of the dive in terms of upper echelon. So we see here a lock-in of Star-Lord, who has also been pretty much, if you have Star-Lord available throughout the EMEA region and even here in NA so far, it's almost like you gotta play it.
Yeah, so this is interesting, right? Because no one played a lot of Daredevil. Redis did a little bit. I think they're expecting him to go from that Black Hat to the Daredevil, because Doom was primarily a Star-Lord player, so that lock-in's going that direction. And we've said time and time again, getting that first ult as Rocket, combining that, obviously, with the Gambit or the Rocket, for that matter, is going to give you a lot of wins in those team fights. So I do like what Stickdrift has. 100 Thieves banning Daredevil. must have done some homework because we didn't see too much of that on the other side, but will it come into play?
Yeah, and then at the very end there, kind of like we were discussing, the removal of Angela, to make sure that's off the field for 100 Thieves. I think that's a pretty smart decision on this map. It's just a lot of you have to play the game a totally different way when Angela's up there, especially on that off-map location. There's a little bit off-map here too, but it's much more far away. But yeah, either way, she plays great on Hell's Heaven as a whole. But it looks like we are going to be diving in here, my friend. First game with you of the day. I'm stoked to get into it.
Yeah, man. It feels like it's been way too long, and just
it does.
Get back into pro play, man, and alongside yourself. But yeah, man, like you said, obviously being one-sided on the Angela front, she got all those buffs to compensate them taking away a little bit of her dive and, kidnap ability, and then they gave her it back. So she's the best of all worlds. Iffy, though, has not played much, at least in the group stage for Angela, because there was no reason to. Will the time be now, Jeff Bubbles, to shoot the teams out the gate ship? Here we go.
Yeah, like you're saying, just removing that Dino, changing how Dino worked, getting rid of some of that over health off the bleed, made him significantly worse into poke, which ultimately gave Angela a buff on top of the buff. So off we go, folks, with Doomed. Trying to dive backwards for the moment. Some pressure is launched early here from Vinny, who will be playing a little more dive focused with TTK on that van pool. We've seen a little bit of play today. Down goes one as Tones gets picked off immediately from Delena, and the pressure is matched right back as Self falls from Iffy, who is also matching that back on that Angela that we're talking about.
Yeah, showing that just Angela pick already coming to light. Obviously, we know that Delena has played Star-Lord the most, actually, out of the group stage when you look at their hero pool, and it hasn't been affected too much. So I think he's right at home, as they've always been. Interesting to see Vinny and TPK swap to what's comfortable for them. I know Tankpool was one of Vinny's more played. Venom fours somewhat the bottom. He's more of the cap focus, but this is the team and what they choose to go for. The team has not capped yet. No team at that. 100 Thieves are going to be the first to lap potential, as we're going to go ahead and have the, Banhammer come out early.
Yeah, Banhammer, they're likely going to be upgrading that first, folks. It is definitely the way, as it does help you out and ensure that it does a little more damage if they do miss shots. And actually, if you use it on Angela, if she misses her dash, it actually counts as a miss shot every millisecond that she's moving. So take that into ladder with you. You can use it to counter Angela a little bit. Redis able to drop Winnie there, and now Stickdrift trying to get this point, but nobody's got it yet. We're still a third of the way capped from 100 Thieves side as Vinny goes in with a Feast of the Abyss. Delena himself now saying, hey, we're not quite done yet. Going to be able to find two, but it's matched back by the BRB of Tones. And now Doomed is going to find Millennia.
Wow, this is going back and forth here. Getting Rita's biggest threat out is massive, but then losing Millennia there. And again, if you look at just deaths per minute as well, they're some of the highest in the strategist front. These teams have been locating these backline strategists and giving their team the upper hand, even without your biggest threat on the field. So now you've got Stickdrift, STD, I refuse to call, man. It's like, you gotta go with Stickdrift gaming, all right?
yeah. Stop.
They're looking good, though. They've got the legendary, obviously, to pair up if you want to get that combined with anything. Choose not to, and just like that, easy pickings could be from Delena on the opposite answer. And 100 Thieves, man, they get this point right back to their name.
Yeah, double commitment there. Actually, yeah, it's just off the back of the combo that we've known to grow and love. But, you look over at Stickdrift. Doom does have ult available, but Logan committed. They did not do it at the same time. 100 Thieves, they're going to be matching pace, and that's what you want here. The Galactic Legend with that Raging Royal Flush is just an unbelievable combo, and you always see success with it. So I'll say that not only was that a good point win here in return for 100 Thieves, but keeping them on pace together, it's going to be another buff.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, really, these strategy schools are just coming out on fire as the Rocket already has their ready to go again. Self just getting one pick from this would be massive, or at least some attention drawn their way. The Banhammer going on Doomed is going to make it a bit tough to be Legend in that moment. Delena picking off the best from that. With this, Heaven falling, shouldn't find much grace of it. The rest coming back up, and just like that, this Beyond Thieves looking strong and staying strong, standing tall here.
Yeah, really good decision there by TTK. Tones finds Vinny, now Stickdrift. Trying to match this up. Should be roughly even right now as Doomed is coming back after that ultimate combination. Delena just dancing on point for the moment. You can see the positioning here of the strat line. Playing together, prepping for this cap dive that starts right now. Will it get value? Pulls out some cooldowns. But Gambit is able to escape. TTK falls from Redis with a Kraken impact. Who's looking to reset. Will we see more here? Keep on the target on point.
I love Redis just having this character because it just represents him as a player so well, right? Just putting the team on the back and snowballing as the hero and the duelist that he is. Again, folks, you're looking at one of the best in America to do it, as if he is eyes in the sky. There's so much to look at if you are going to be on the side of 100 Thieves. I love Stickdrift Gaming's comp here. They're going to go and see if they can just annoy, pick, and cry out that Delena finds it quickly, as Vicky would say with the shish kebab spear.
Yeah, this is definitely the first match we were kind of thinking it would be, buddy. I mean, the fact that they're turning it back and forth, you know, and we haven't even gotten to 70% on either side. It's going to be, you know, you rarely see something like this where it's, you know, 60% on both sides. That's just some really good ultimate play. Vinny and Winnie with ult available. Delena going to be close, but that pick is huge from Doom to drop Delena prior to the combination. Doomed and Logan now are trying to catch up in pace. You can see Doom trying to get that ult charge, to get that combination like we're discussing, but the point's still in control. A Stickdrift.
Yeah, I would have liked to see Stickdrift play a bit more aggressive, particularly with the ult that they had on the strat front here. Obviously, Winnie's going to save his for the response, and Dylan's going to match it, so they should be able to get the pick where needed. Regis being the first to fall. That rest coming in clutch as always is going to cause Blaze to throw up C as well. So they've got to make some use of it, but all 100 Thieves focus on getting that ult right out of here. Placement maybe could have been a bit tighter, and now it's going to be Silent Blaze just trying to stay alive through Vinny and what they can continue to disrupt. What you want to do the most on Venom. Obviously, you have that quick pop of the ult to get the one hit if you're looking for it, but man, 99 and up is Stickdrift Gaming nearly hitting that cap. Stopping right before it, not a bad answer from 100 Thieves.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a battle of the ults here for potentially the final fight. Millennia and Self with the combination coming up likely on point. Doomed and Regis, but Doomed is going to be the threat in the sky. And you can see in a moment Tones and Iffy with ults available shortly too. So theoretically, ult advantage going to be in favor of Stickdrift. It's all about if 100 Thieves can get value with the two that they've got available. It's pretty much on the back of Self here. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, actually, I like a lot what Stickdrift has. If they can win this fight, I think they're going to end up taking the point, just with how things are going to rotate. Delena, Vinny, and friends a mile away, going and burst through this beacon if they can to the Sia. They do just that. So Regis now going to get the snowball rolling, pushed all the way down the hill. Millennia goes down. You're going to have the Strange come out here pretty early if they look to do so. 99% though, it's 100 Thieves. They're still comfortable on that King of the Hill. TTK finds one in Tones. Hold on now with the cap going back to STD. This is going to be close, as I just said. I didn't want to call it. You have to in quick action. Regis finds another ship. This is going down to the wire, but looks comfortably Stickdrift.
Yeah, I don't think a portal's coming in time. That should be Stickdrift, and it is, folks. And what a back and forth there for the first map on Dom. That is what we're looking for between these two teams. Stickdrift, though, they did have ult advantage, really good communication, and that is how you win those final fights. It's all about getting value at the right time and not falling to that combination from Self. I don't think Self was able to find any picks through that, but that's just the product of going right into a Captain America Freedom Charge.
A little first game nerves here, I feel like, from both teams, right? Like, no huge dominating performance from really anybody to highlight of, you know, significance. Obviously, I would say that I am impressed with how the backline has been for 100 Thieves. They're looking a bit cleaner out there, and funny enough, Winnie being over on that Gambit was kind of inverse of what they were doing last time. So swapping some stuff up, both in the Vanguard and backline roles, but Delena is the heartbeat of the team, right? That has continued to be what this 100 Thieves team is all about. 60 limbs, matching Regis to the name. Gates back open. Will 100 Thieves be able to fight back? It will be a quick, shocking 2-0.
Here we go again as we see the next map open up. See Winnie and Millennia walking forward. Both the strategists just trying to catch up on both sides. See immediately the BRB being brought out. Iffy with ult available could start the tone properly. Logan going to be close by. Same with Winnie. They're going to be big Rage and Royal Flush combinations, but it's like Delena's going to be the closest with the Galactic Legend pairing. Iffy now tries to find the tackle. Does not get value with it. Good idea for the moment as Winnie gets the first pick on a Tones. A big start here for 100 Thieves, but Psyche lied the BRB right back. Tones into the fight.
Yeah, that res is huge as Heaven falls down. This is actually one of the better Angela maps that you can get so much value. When you're going to go and pop early as the cards are folded. You've got to find value here with the quick pop. Ooh, would have liked to see the hit there. Either way, Self is going to go down. Trying to go for the off, but either way, points still not in their name. Doom finds another in Winnie, and that's going to give them all that momentum. Vinny can maybe stall best. The limit choose use early tip. Do you like this?
I don't know. They're down numbers here. Vinny trying to combine. Okay, now I like it. There was a prime target there. It said, get rid of the Gambit. Let's try to take this back quickly, but no, does fall for it. If they were able to escape in that moment, I wouldn't have minded it, but now it's just a little bit of an overcommitment for not enough values. It looks like this point will be taken here by a Stickdrift shortly. Almost use the acronym as well. Iffy gonna off-map Vinny. That's a tough look. Goodbye, Venom. And that point will be theirs.
Yeah, not sure if I like that Piece of the Abyss combo with it, too. Like, I get it. I get that point. I guess they're just trying to capitalize everything to get the Gambit out of it. But either way,
Panicky.
You know, this is how they fight. They fight aggressive. They're a team that definitely is not passive in any regard. And Doom has been looking really clean on the Star-Lord, which, again, they played mostly in the group stage. Hasn't really lost a lot of momentum that they had as a hero. Regis, again, with that Kraken impact, ready to roll. You go to throw the C up first with the spin to win. Vinny finds 2, and there you go. At least some opening for Thieves.
Yeah, it's a good pick set there from Vinny. Very aggressive. It's what they needed. Is going to be in a decent position right now. Trying to get this point back before 40%. Stalling is still going to be there from Iffy. Was holding on with the Angie. Still maintains presence on point. How are you still healthy? Goodbye. As Self drops 1. Make it 2 now as Delena cleans that up. Redis trades with Self. And we see Vinny and TTK find a few more. Everybody back on the field for 100 Thieves with ult advantage. Will they be able to get this 42% back?
Yeah, I kind of like what they have here ult-wise, too. You've got Winnie for the next fight. Obviously, Silent Blaze will be able to get the C up, but by then, to match on over to Logan, you can at least have a little trade of the mirror comp and opposites, if you will, in that backline. Iffy, what value can they find? Has the Heaven Falls, doesn't need it too much at the moment, as now Self just trying to pick that fight with the one-wing Angel, and there it is. They're going to choose to go aggressive as Silent Blaze, everybody rolling with the Doom, finds a quick rocket pick. Even the odds, PK continues, and that's where the res comes in handy, and this should be able to give, once again, Stickdrift that advantage.
I mean, these BRB placements must just be disgusting because I haven't seen a single one fall yet. They're always getting value. Delena is able to find 1 now, and it's more so maybe just because teams aren't diving as much, and it's more so in the hands of 1 or 2. And Iffy, there's another off-map on Vinny. Goodbye. TTK goes down from Doomed, who's going to keep it collapsing. Goodbye to another pick here, as Millennia also falls. Really well done by Stickdrift on the retake. And this just seems to be the case here, as we're likely going to see Delena come back in with ultimate and potentially Self.
Ooh, but that's a good little stagger there. Delena going to go ahead and have to get back with the team. But yeah, per what you said, I mean, at this point, if they're even able to hang on and get, that ult charged a bit more for Stickdrift, they can play back and forth one more time to end up having the same result as map 1, but can Self do it himself as he puts the team potentially on his back going against Iffy. He's going to find her low. And how many times have we seen Iffy going down to 1, up to full? The strats on lock, and that is really just showing why this backline is so good at that healing per second.
Yeah, TTK is able to find Redis here. The retake's almost through. As Self's trying to collapse towards that backline. Everybody's going to be low as Vinny finds Tones now, who's ever closer to that freedom charge. Another pick from TTK. Tones back in the fight, but the point has switched. If you can find the pick after the BRB, that is pretty much guaranteed stagger. And you see Self trying to make that happen. But the escape has started from the guy who just never stops sprinting is Tones, 85%.
Yeah, and winning that in the neutral shift was just a W for the team, right? Because now they have such a good defense to be able to hold up to what they need. This is where you want to play that aggression even more because they definitely outmatch Stickdrift if needing to pull any of the emergency levers of those ultimates. Going up top, trying to continue to hit. Waiting patiently, waiting for that go button, whether it be the ult or just the neutral. And again, this is great play from them, not having to use anything to just kind of stay in this race and farm up that point cap.
Yeah, it's been much cleaner here from 100 Thieves. Like you said, just using that one ultimate of Daredevil, it's really not that impactful, and be able to take point with that and then use this prior to hold on. It's 97. There's the touch now. Got to get it within 3%, and there is the hold. Up goes another Galactic Legend. Stalling for the moment as if he's able to drop TTK off map. Didn't have any jumps available there. The ult commitment flies out. And if he hold on, Kraken Impact now is launched. Now they're going to be retaking the point, but that is a ton of ult commitment. If you look over at 100 Thieves, they got nothing left. This is going to be a neutral battle, potentially off the back of a TTK portal.
Yeah, that heist car is stalling out a bit there as now Stickdrift confirmed in control with Logan Man ready to rip. This is going to be really an uphill, on ice skates, as Blade says, because they're going to have to just play perfect as Logan gets him that advantage. Iffy is now hunting with that spear. Can he find the biggest impact player in Delena? Goodbye, goes Star-Lord. This gives everything Stickdrift needs to make the shocking first win.
Yeah, I mean, this Angelus has been so valuable. I've seen 4 off maps this round alone, and now they're forced to switch thing here to stay healthy on point. That's going to do it, folks. Stickdrift Gaming looking so clean here. They're able to take this home 2-0.
Ship, are you shocked at all? I mean, obviously, one team is all together, one just on the ping, and then there's no communication issue or no connection issue, at least in the teamwork department. I'm impressed with how Stickdrift, handled not only the pick ban phase, but man, it just felt like their rotation, even with that good neutral fight that 100 Thieves had, was just better in each way from the ultimate standpoint.
Yeah, it's like every time I see Stickdrift, they just look better and better. I mean, yeah, they've had some L's in the group stage towards the end, but this team has got a lot of talent. I think this team, we will see them moving forward far pretty much in this tournament, whether it's on the lower side or potentially on the winner's side. We'll see how that shakes out here in a moment. But yeah, Thieves, I think the first map was a little rough for them. I think map 2, like you said, looked a lot cleaner. But at that point, you know, I think when you're just going into a freedom charge combination, you have answers to a lot of these alt combinations off the back of just using cap alone. And I think that value is huge. I think the Angela value is huge. And then the duelist front just always seem to land with ultimates, and that's doing their job.
Well, guys, we know 100 Thieves is one of the best to come back in best of 5, so don't go anywhere. We're going to take a quick break and then get right back to match number 2.
Wait up, open your hands, holding on to your heart. Look inside you. Can you feel it? The sparks in you. Add it up, unleash it up. Wake up, open your eyes, raising up your fists and smashing through time walls. Before the rift splinters yet again, we are rivals to the end. And rise up, open your minds, hold on to your powers. No one can stop us. We are rivals till the end of time. 한껏 더 높이 날아올라 내 누워진 밤하늘을 가로질러 Oh yeah, oh yeah. 필요할 때 내가 널 지켜줄게 간절히 바라면 이루어지는 마법인 거야 운명의 소리 들려 여기서 저기서 날 찾으면 달빛이 날 비춰와 시작해야 let's go 어둡고 흘러는 우주 따뜻한 눈으로 감싸나 순간 신비롭게 녹아내릴 거야 좀 더 기다려 I'll be there 쓰러지지 마 끝까지 일어나야 해 어딜 가든지 극복해 힘은 너에게 있는 걸 소리 높여 노래를 불러 작은 걱정 따윈 던지고 최선을 다해 작품을 쳐봐 어둠이 떠 날 때까지 아름다운 꿈을 밝혀봐 우리에게 달려서 그 세계 운명 어둠이 떠 날 때까지 세계 운명 오랜 시간 간직해온 열망 까만 밤의 빛처럼 빛나 네 눈앞에 바로 어떤 나라 탑을 딱 봐도 superstar 딱 보면 모르나 널 지킬 나란 걸 지켜볼수록 점점 빠져들어 카리스마 넘쳐 흘러 oh yeah 운명의 소리 들려 여기서 저기서 날 찾으면 달빛이 날 비춰와 시작이야 let's go 어둡고 흘러는 우주 따뜻한 눈으로 감싸나 순간 신비롭게 녹아내릴 거야 좀 더 기다려 I'll be there 쓰러지지 마 끝까지 일어나야 해 어딜 가든지 극복해 힘은 너에게 있는 걸 소리 높여 노래를 불러 작은 걱정 따윈 던지고 최선을 다해 작품을 쳐봐 어둠이 떠 날 때까지 아름다운 꿈을 밝혀봐 우리에게 달려서 그 세계 운명 눈이 부신 모든 순간들 지켜내야 해 내게 주어진 운명
What's going on, guys, and welcome back. Hell's Heaven belongs to Stickdrift Gaming in this best of 5 stage 1 playoffs day 1. Again, the best moving on to LAN, and right now the team that is LAN together without paying it took the first loss, but this is a big way to open up the series ship if you are a Stickdrift Gaming fan.
Yeah, they looked great out there. I mean, right now, we saw some of the what it felt like old meta style stuff coming from 100 Thieves, which I'm surprised about. I will say, getting rid of the Cyclops, you can't really go back into the fold of that poke stuff that they really do like. I'm just not sure about the dive stuff, especially when Gambit and Rocket are there. I think Gambit is very difficult to get on top of. I think the BRB has infinite value. And it kind of shown in the stats. Not a ton of finals there from Self and Vinny, both getting 6. And you look over something like Regis with 12.
Yeah, and it's funny that we highlight Angela and the presence that she has now in this meta, and that's just our MVP going on over to Iffy, who both these Vanguards, they've been playing together. If you don't know, they've been playing together now for, since Rivals has been back in Alpha Beta. I mean, these guys love to play as a duo, especially there in the front line. But yeah, 13k damage, pretty disgusting overall, and it just feels like Angela was a big, kind of answer as we saw continually getting that pick on Self, and it just feels like there was nothing able to come from it, and more of the same, where we've got the damage numbers, but not the one that matters in those key eliminations.
Yeah, I mean, also just the clinical off maps of things like we saw Vinny off map a few times, TTK off mapped a few times. It's very difficult to do that into heroes, like Venom or even Vanpool, who do have a lot of escape opportunities. So really good angling, likely throwing them directly downward, potentially canceling with the poke, some of the movement cooldowns. Either way, shout out to a very clean play by Iffy. As you look at the stats across the board, anything major stand out to you?
Yeah, I mean, listen to what we said earlier. I thought Doomed and Delena both played so much Star-Lord that they're comfortable on the hero. It's just kind of the inverse and the opposite pick, as that kind of 1B. We continue to talk about that 1B position, whether it be, in this case, was Regis, on the Bucky, Self on the Daredevil. That's the position from a lot of these teams that they're going to continue to kind of anchor down. I do feel like Tones could have, having 11k, 30k with the damage blocked is nice. We've seen a bit cleaner play in the early pickoffs, but at least that was matched on Vinny's side as well. But if you're 100 Thieves, this is where experience has to show. You've dropped the opener, you've got to reset. I'd be shocked if they don't have a big answer. Usually they like to take it to museum, or at least last time in the group stage. They continue to do that. I wouldn't be shocked if that's kind of the way they want to roll.
Yeah, I could absolutely see that for sure. I think, we have to, there's some stuff you got to address. I think the Rocket BRB needs to be broken. I think I saw every single first pick get res. There wasn't a single time that was found, and that can't be the case. I mean, you got to treat it like it's the 7th man, essentially, right out there. So definitely something they need to consider. Not necessarily saying you need to prioritize a Rocket ban, but something to think about. Either way, it looks like, yep, you nailed it. We are heading over to Museum of Contemplation. And I will say, Thieves are disgusting on this map. I think it lends itself to being able to play things like Groot, even Emma. Although, if they're super poke focused, may be more difficult and less brawly. But either way, they have those in the bag and at the very top when it comes to Groot and Emma from TTK here and Vinny.
That's a great call. I would love to see kind of the back, the recall of what this front line has kind of found themselves and established the name of 100 Thieves in Marvel Rivals, playing that Groot, playing that Emma, in both their best heroes, if you just look statistically as well. And listen, 100 Thieves, they're not going to quickly change up that game plan that they had with Daredevil. I think they're going to continue to have that kind of dive in the back line. But how can they answer the call on that pick ban phase? Obviously, last time they went with the more traditional approach that we've seen. Do you think they ban Daredevil again? What do they use that last ban slot on to make more of a difference?
I'm not sure that's going to be the case. I don't think this is an insane Angela map either, so I'm not sure that's going to be a prio for them. It depends. I think maybe the Rocket is a conversation here. I think there's some potential for combination. I think Cyclops is probably likely going to be banned again if they don't feel confident, but I do think, why not test it? Why not see how the poke looks? I think in these best of 5s, you're going to study and test teams out in these first couple matches, so we'll see if they elect to change anything, but so far, nothing has changed. Yeah,
and listen, if you're looking at yourself as who needs to step up, I want to see what Vinny can do. We know when this guy's playing at his best, into what we've seen him play at, this team is really hard to stop, and they're going to continue with what you said there. With Gambit being saved, that's been always the save that we have with the rogue to follow. Kind of early and often, at least in this first week, we're going to see, or this first day, we're going to see kind of the same of what we've seen in the past, of just the key things to shut down. Now, one going Rocket, I do like this. A bit more of an edge, maybe give that Cyclops over. Stickdrift probably going to lock that up. If you're Regis, you're itching at it.
Yeah, and I was going to say, you know, if you could, there's finding a way to get the gambit out, because also I'm looking back at the stats here. I didn't even catch Logan had 5 finals there, which is, you know, a ton for backline. So really getting some success, being more offensive too with 9k damage, but actually 11, excuse me, k damage, which is an absolute ton. It's almost the same as Tones on cap, but either way, you see here the lock in. Oh, here we go from Stickdrift. Okay, they're going to get Cyclops through. It's an absolute menace. Wolverine's going to be the removal, and yes, there is that rocket.
Yeah, listen, I like the change up here from 100 Thieves, and obviously we saw Silent Blaze just being a continual threat. But you know, it's interesting. If you do look at what Silent Blaze has played in the past, Invis, Loki, White Fox, that's been kind of the comfort picks for Blaze in at least the last group stage. So I think they're fine not having access to that rocket. But either way, man, getting the Star-Lord ban on top of Cyclops, it's disgusting. Going to be really hard just to reset now, because if you're going on the side of Delina, you know, Elsa was a comfort pick for him. You know, obviously Elsa's still doing plenty fine right now in this meta. What do you think he shifts on over to?
It's tricky. I think, okay, as we can see kind of what they're floating in terms of ideas right now. Oh, first off, shout out. I love to see the penny on this map. Not sure that's going to actually be the case, but yes, you are going to see Delena on that Elsa, Self going to be on the Wolverine, Doomed on the Star-Lord, which I think will be a mainstay throughout the entirety of this playoffs until teams potentially decide that it's too much to handle. But removing the rocket from that combination is going to be nice, and instead of the rocket, you now have the gambit. So I don't know, man, this combination is too much. I think Star-Lord needs to be potentially a priority.
Yeah, this is a beautiful, like, what we kind of wanted to see, though, in the terms of that Groot Emma, you know, into what would be the flex play. Obviously, would have been that Star-Lord early on. Self, okay, so I've seen, like, if you go to Coach Fox has talked about Self's Wolverine, something he doesn't fear personally, but we know Self was historically a great player on the Logan. So we'll see if, you know, he can kind of wake that demon up again. Cyclops and the other team should fuel him. He's got the Marvel lore behind him, but Vinny plays so aggressive. This damage is like 20k per 10 minutes on the hero. Absolutely disgusting per game on the hero. Be absolutely up there in the department. We'll see how they choose to get this first front line. And as having a penny, I don't love this kind of defense to start shift.
Yeah, it's a little safe, but, you know, I think I'm liking the comp that I saw for 100 Thieves. It's like we know what we're talking about, buddy. As you see here, Vinny's going to be on that crew. TTK is going to be on that Emma. But, yeah, I mean, Self, instead of coming on the Wolverine, decided to switch last minute, whether that was just a disguise or there's conversation, is going to be on the Psylocke. And, you know, the downside is they have, which is potentially Sock's biggest problem, is the Loki there. I think those crystals are a huge answer for an ultimate, and it's just a nice trade to be able to use an ability to just completely lock out an ultimate. So we'll see if it does get value. I like what I'm seeing so far from the side of 100 Thieves, who are just walking through this point. Like you're saying, maybe, you know, a little bit too passive here from Stickdrift.
Yeah, you have two things that answer the penny, right? Both Groot and the walls, you know all too much, man. And then having the Psylocke is one of the better quick answers to pop the nest quickly. Vinny gonna go to get Doomed out of here. When Doom's out, at this point, you could just hold the W key. Winnie already looking up to 99%. This is the Thieves that we know and love. TK, all eyes on him. Silent Blaze trying to keep this team alive in the fight, with Ritas finding one with that quick hit of the Ruby Rage. Having to use a lot of resources, though, to even hold this bust a bit, because the wheels go round and round for 100 Thieves. Portal out to play already.
Yeah, forcing out Portal like you are saying. Logan going to copy up now. A lot of commitment there as a Raging Royal Flush goes out, but nobody goes down. TTK able to find Tones, who might switch up here. Gets knocked through the portal, which I thought was going to close any second. Iffy finds Delena. Again, numbers are even for the current moment. Thieves looking like they're taking this push forward, as out goes the Sia. Doom trying to dance on the front line of the Vanguards. Instead, has to drop away from a chase that is Winnie and Vinny. Goodbye to everyone. They will get this point here. Just a matter of time.
Yeah, sometimes we miss the ultimates, but you can tell by the Olymp feed if they were able to land what they wanted to. At least got 3 in that tiny room. That's all too well. And it's just a great group map, as you know, man. Set up the traps, those walls come in so much clutch. And, man, Stickdrift used a lot of resources to hold on tight there. Luckily was matched, but what do they've got? They've got the slice in the dice of the Psylocke and nothing to respond of it. If yourself, find that opening, man. Find that quick pick, and you're going to be able to get around this tough corner.
Yeah, exactly. There's no longer that Loki answer, so you can be more aggressive. You just saw a lot of commitment, likely alt-tracking the fact that it's only going to be Doomed and Ritas. Ritas was able to find one with that Rage early on. Here goes the commitment now. Does this land? It seems like it does on the front line, but it doesn't get a pick. Good movement. Great escape, and unlucky there from Self. Maybe launched out a little bit too early.
Crazy comms and just getting out of there perfectly. That was a 1v1 back. Tones being very aware to get back to that back line. Again, the one that keeps them so nice and healthy. Ritas, this is a perfect Ruby Rage moment. will call by the Cyclops ult itself, and just like that, going to be initiated by TTK. This is how they won the early first fight last time. Doom now going to try to be that answer to this Psylocke, but first going to go ahead and dive on that back. If they can find, there it is. Self-deleted from the video game. Goodbye.
Yeah, this is just a good answer as well. I mean, you do have that invisibility. You just hunt down the setup of these dives, and there's not a lot of commitment here outside of that as Vinny now falls from Iffy, and the presence has been known here. Stickdrift with ult advantage, with no commitment, come right back and take this point.
Yeah, that's why we got that Daredevil ban at first, right? Doom picking that up back into the roster. Really hasn't played much of it last group stage. Obviously, that was more of the Black Hat role for Rita, so cool to see, you know, just as well as they played it. Self is going to try to answer that call the same because of what Daredevil can do to Psylocke. Such a 1v1 tough matchup to hit. TTK and the tank's going to get down the front line now. Find two. Going to get that Feast of the Abyss, and Rita's is running like a horror movie as it's just the symbiote chasing down. Sorry, Iffy there in that regard, but either way, good play.
Yeah, I mean, that's just value on value. Force out the ult and just walk away, keep him down, away from his team. You're going to be totally fine. They get the pick after the fact for even more of a stagger. Thieves played that beautifully. Still have almost four ultimates available for this next fight. And Thieves are looking like they want to take this back and make it a 1-1 on this attack so far. Delena going to start off with a Kraken impact. The Sia goes out. The Feast goes under as the dance floor matches it. Doomed drops Delena, and the numbers now are up for Stickdrift after all of that commitment. Self, though, comes back and finds Doom. Numbers are even now. TTK out, trying to find somebody with a Psionic Seduction. The point still in favor of Stickdrift, and it looks like TTK will drop Redis. The spawn is much closer here for the defense.
Oh, wow, the heist continues, and they're going to quite literally steal this point, man, because this is the part you want to win the most. Such a tough angle of the map. The spawn's so close. I know my own comp games. I just can't stand being held up in this one location. Stuff going to go in and pop and let the devil out quickly. As we hear Alex, the VO shot, the iconic line going quick after Baton's blindness nerf, no problem. Finds Logan, zoomed out of this thing. Should be able to put 100 Thieves through the rest of it. Elf is going to try to find the cleanup on Tones, and Silent gets the best.
I mean, that was just some disgusting schmovement. I don't even know how he was able to hold on that long. At that point, your team was resetting, but it's funny to look at. These guys are just nuts. But yeah, we can see the hold here moving forward. The retake, very clean by Stickdrift. Such a hard point to attack through here as the spawn is so heavily in your favor. You do have some decent LOSs if you get out of that first doorway, that first double-sided doorway, and it looks like they were able to do just that. Some shift in composition here immediately. Silent Blade's going to have ult, and there it is. Bang, match right back by Winnie, excuse me. As it looks like both are going to start off. The first pick goes in the favor of Self onto a backline. Huge pick out of Logan as they do-si-do here. Where's the next pick go? Excuse me. Looks like, I don't know.
Both these teams are larving each other's heroes. Like, we're just seeing them, you know, mix and match all across the lane now over on the X-Men. And that quick pick on Self, it's going to be a lot. And this is where teams kind of fall. They got to lock in together and see what they can find. Right now, Delena's just trying to farm this ult up for this last fight, final fight. Again, this is just the hardest part of the point outside of that third one to hit. Delena now just trying to farm more. Finds both those strategists. Going to go ahead and just hit the Q right away, Ship. I like the aggressiveness and the call. Saw both of them in that room ready to go, but the rotation keeps them safe, and Thieves is going to steal point 2.
Yeah, really good attack there. They locked in. I mean, it was even off the rip. Then it was just neutral fight after neutral fight, and they came out on top. There was some commitment there from Stickdrift, so they will have ult advantage in favor of 100 Thieves, and this is exactly what you're looking for on this map. Can they push this thing the whole way? Be able to kind of rest easy, just slightly. We'll see in a moment. And shout out seeing Psylocke here, bringing me to X-Men 97 Season 2 type stuff. Love to see it.
Oh, yes, man. Great call, by the way. Could be just continue crazy if you are a Marvel fan. But right now, Rivals portal open, ready to just bring this fight right to him. With only a minute left, it's one of those points you don't get a lot of extended time, right? Even if you make it through the tough choke of 2. Tones and Doom now looking for their first hit. They get that back line out of here, and it's going to be the Gambit now caught in the stray. Trying to fight for the life is going to be Winnie. Cannot find Solus. Good dive potential, but the trade on Gambits go down together, evaporate just like that. The lifeguards are drowning. 100 Thieves are moving.
Now, really smart decision there by Stickdrift. Even though they lost the fight, folks, you're going to see a lot of teams doing that. If they lose a fight and they know they can just quick regroup, portal on, and try to fight early on, if you can buy time anywhere, it's valuable. If you're able to hold them as soon as this thing moves through point 3, you know, that is a huge win for your teams. It buys you a better chance at pushing through when you're attacking. Either way, they bought a lot of time. OT is going to be the next fight. You're going to have to stay on top of this raft, which is very tricky.
Yeah, and if you're ult tracking, man, 100 Thieves, they are looking clean with what they have available. I think Redis and Doom, the big impact players, are going to have access to their ult a bit quicker once Self uses this. Delena's going to be a mile away. At this point, it's me, the battle of the devil versus the Klops. One going down quickly. Vinny with the quick melee ends Logan. Now they're going to have free reign to push this float all the way down and enjoy the parade as we're close to the fourth. Now going early, Self continues to hunt. This is great for 100 Thieves. They're looking really ready to get the rest of it because Millennia back on that ult quickly.
Did you see Rita's trying to reflect it off the ceiling there? And him being dumb. I was like, whoa, this dude's AP physics in that moment. But we can see now the commitment is going to be huge here from everybody. Silent Blaze going to start off with the ultimate. Everyone walking forward off that Raging Royal flush. The commitment comes right back as the dive comes in from Vinny. TTK going to find Tones. Make that 2 now as 100 Thieves find more value. And they're still walking forward, able to find a huge pick on a Doomed with ultimate.
Yeah, that's going to be a big one. And just like that, I mean, you've got Ritus, you've got the Ruby Rage, got to find time to now just stall the point if you're going to use the Feast to Abyss and continue to buy that health. TTK is getting a bit low, but that's going to allow on the opposite end. Delena close, 82-83. This guy's continue to clutch up final points with Psylocke. We saw it back against Shock them right out of this playoff into what he's continued to be as a player. Vinny finds one, Winnie the other. 100 Thieves looking to get the job done.
Yeah, as we see, it's back and forth here, but wow, even being heavily down, it looks like they might be able to do it, folks. And that's going to be another pick from Delena, and that is all 3 clinical .3 from 100 Thieves, and you can see the relief here on all of their faces. Shout out production. I love this camp.
The quick energy drink hit as they move in, and that was as clean of a .3 as you get, man. The rotation into it. I do like the portal play, and I get what they were trying to do. But from there, it felt like they continued to stagger and fall out. Couple of hero switches at the end. I thought maybe they were going to go with a boosted up Ruby Rage. Didn't even have time to get that rolling for them either. It was a tough .3, and usually we've seen in times past, if you get the 3rd point, Shiv, you usually get the point overall for the map.
Yeah, it's much more defensible, especially .2 by time than you'd think, and it's really hard to find yourself all the way through. I mean, honestly, Stickdrift had a 3 ult advantage, but the cart was essentially like, 2 meters away. So I think we saw a lot of panic, and that just kind of drove them to not find a lot of value. I mean, look at these finals across the board. Most you're seeing is 5, and TTK and Self have 12 a pop. Vinny going to be up there with 8. I mean, across the board, 100 Thieves played this map significantly better than we've seen them today.
Yeah, really good
TTK
rotation.
not go down? Wait, TTK didn't fall.
That is man, that just highlights what they do best. And every single Thieves player swapped into something that was a bit more comfortable or cozy, if you will, for that point in time of the map or in the composition. Sometimes just answering the call, as we now see Stickdrift swapping into kind of a similar comp that they rolled out with on 100 Thieves side. But man, yeah, they just made hell that back there for Logan and Silent Blaze, and that really just kept the team tough to take down.
We're going to see now, defensible side, you're going to have Vinny on the Strange early on here. You're going to have that Invisible Woman for the team up. Just so much stronger when you do have that team up. You can play far more aggro. You can cancel movement cooldowns. So that is what these pros are electing to do, is Tones finds the first pick there on the TTK. Gonna be a decent answer. The BRB comes right back as TTK is holding on with the Angela. Numbers are going to be evened out. And we're seeing more Adam play and more triple stuff, which, I don't mind on defense on .1.
TTK falls more there than he did the entire map, all right? So maybe that does show a little something. Again, what was it, 29-0 is crazy work, man. I love the bottom right of the player cams, by the way. You can see both the ult charge on the top if you're interested in the exact, stats of that and their stats overall. Just a nice little thing, W Production, get that rolling for the playoffs as we itch our way towards that LAN. And it matters so much to these teams. They make it back. Obviously, that lower bracket be full of big orgs already. FlyQuest Sentinels, 100 Thieves join them in the long list of names. Just like this, though, Stickdrift trying to get around this tough first quarter, already popping that invisible boundary. Going to be mad for both of them.
The Venn diagram is out. Good kick out there on a Vinny, who was able to escape back in. Really good movement there. There's some dire circumstances. The Sia goes out from Winnie. Self going to be close here with the Meteor M. Again, that triple Vanguard, triple strat line from 100 Thieves is looking pretty strong right now as they are getting pushed backwards. Regis holding on here, the Ruby Rage.
Yeah, and I like what Stickdrift has here, because they can just go in with the Gambit ult, and then they're just going to only be able to rely on Born Again, right? Usually that's Born Again, lose again, as we continue to see, and that's why kind of Adam's making his way out of the meta in some sorts. But we're just going to find the best of Vinny, who's, not the best pick in that moment, can be able to come back somewhat quick, especially when they've got that BRB back to life and ready to fight. Quickly down, slams the Kraken impact,
Huge.
And there's the wipe.
Yeah, that is a huge ult there.
Delena
off the strangling prison. Delena with the big res opportunity. Everybody back in the fight. Does fall, though. Is this going to be able to turn around? There is no major alt answer. Yeah, and like you said, Born Again, goodbye once again. Everybody gets taken out right off the res, and that is the downside to a maybe more predictable Adam Ultimate.
Yeah, I've seen Marvel Zombies enough to know that just because they're able to fight on and on doesn't mean they win it. But with Vinny now just trying to touch, desperate to touch, 0.19 not going to be enough. And now you've got a stagger. So at this point, you're going to be able to just push in if you're Stickdrift. But honestly, Shib, it always matters at the end here. This first kind of push around the alley is not where we see these pro teams lock up a ton. Usually can make it way down the hill. It's not like your comp games. It's just going to be this last moment of the fight up here and how long they can stall. But 3 minutes, 40 seconds seems like a lot, but you're going to need every bit of it to get past this point too.
No, I agree. I mean, the small advantages of things like having the spawn door significantly closer for your team, you know, people at this level, they're able to exploit that and get a lot of value out of it. So I'm with you there. You can see the composition shift now, and that's what teams are doing. You saw that group early on, great on point one, maybe not so much on a more diveable location here on point two as Stickdrift makes that switch. Tone's going to be going over to the Captain America, Iffy now on that Venom, and the movement with Doomed is going to be terrifying for that backline.
And like the rotations that they got going on here and the right angle, Vinny just now trying to stay alive for the knockback. That's tenacity going to be playing a factor for sure there for Venom, one of the few that does. Both of these Invis ults about to come out in response, most likely. Silent plays, though, still does not have it. Going to be close in on it. They got to capitalize. They are unable to. And just like that can match the ult. That is going to be the win that they were looking to have. Delina obviously back on Psylocke. Out of that Golden God DK, just trying to stall at this point. But right now, it is something.
Yeah, when you got Psylocke and Cyclops in the game at the same time. Quite a tongue twister. Well, twang twister. You see what I'm saying? It's getting me too, man. But but the pushback comes in. Stickdrift is going to be actually one ult ahead in the next fight as Delena Self and Winnie will combine, but it's all about who handles the Raging Royal Flush a little bit better in terms of combination. You know, you can be quicker with the Psylocke. It can be more threatening, but I'm not sure how much it's going to do into this team of Stickdrift.
And just trying to match each other in the strat fronts. And as you said, I mean, it's just making this way up the hill is not the big problem, but Delina and them are just able to continue to stall this thing out, and they're unable to get rid of the presence that has been Vinny, and getting Iffy out of there surely is going to open up the rest of the fold. I get what they're trying to go with Tones and Iffy here on the dive attack with Doomed. I just don't know if I love it, because then that bust is just not going to have a lot pushing it forward. And right now, 100 Thieves is able to lock it down.
Yeah, it's tough to go full commitment dive into a Gambit comp. I think Gambit has essentially two 40-meter dashes if you do it properly. You know what I mean? Like, in they heal him. He just has so much escape. And then Invis, we know how strong she can be against dive. There is going to be the first commitment from Delena, canceling that all a little bit early to try to find Ritas, and does just that. Delena really well played here on this Psylocke. It's just been consistent here on this defense. Shout out to one of the few making that work right now.
Yep, going to be able to get two on the way out, and at least that slows things down. But here it is again. Vinny's job is just to try to slow the bust for about 1 second. Will that come into play? And here comes the rest of Thieves. Still a little bit delayed. They're going to have to trickle in here, which is going to be tough. Millennia has to stay alive, has to get this invisible boundary if they want to make it a fight. To continue on, they should be able to stall that bust. There it is. Invisible boundary up, ready. They're not going to be able to answer on the side of Stickdrift. Can they get a quick pick to go? It's going to be Tones pressuring often and early. And my gosh, they're letting that bust get a bit too close for comfort. Have the recap, though, and able to go. And wow, self down already.
Yeah, I was like 0.8 meters away. I was like, I don't know, but we see now Winnie going to be able to find the first pick onto Doom. TTK starting up. It's matched right back by the Ruby Rage, which does not land. As we see a great crystal pull there from TTK, which removes 25% of the HP. If you do that well in the diamond form, you just can deal so much damage so quick. TTK min-maxing that, and that's going to be Self to clean up the rest. What a retake by Thieves. But again, you know, it's all about these neutral fights. Winnie holding on to ult could be the ticket here in the final fight. It's looking like Thieves might take this one home.
I was just about to say, man, I do not like the odds for Stickdrift. You're going to have Delena being able to farm up the ult as well. Unless he falls early, I just don't see a way that Stickdrift's going to be able to get this point. But, you know, like we said, before you know it, blink and the 3 minutes are gone. It's all about getting the bust wheels moving at this point. If you're just trying to maybe get a pick early, I think they're trying to find the Psylocke potentially there, maybe at that Self. But either way, 87 and climbing. You have Winnie with the ult as well. When is that Q going to be pressed? Can't allow Logan to get theirs, but they're close to it. 96 and up. Logan trying to find safety. Eyes on Iffy. Self going to be the first one to try to fall, but no one does it. Logan forced press Q. Push it in, Shib. This is looking like desperation.
Yeah, but they're holding on for now. Nobody.
Oh my God.
Wow. You can't make it up. I mean, just a little bit too high. That's all it was. Just a little bit too high in the sky there for the touch, missing it by just a millisecond. And that is going to go in Thieves' favor. Folks, we got a 1-1, buddy, like you called out. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, man. Well, of course, right? It was the last match for the day and last battle for it to be a 1-1 scenario, or even the teams be evenly matched. But of course, right off the rip, we already got ourselves a tied up series. And listen, that's what we thought this matchup was going to be. A great answer from 100 Thieves. That map can go either way. That was the hometown pick for them. Now it's in Stickdrift's hands. How do they choose to try and get this advantage? Best of 5 is what we are here for, folks. Buckle up. It's going to be a long night. We'll be back at the end of this break.
Like the wind and fire, and wonder no more. That now is the only time your heart is mine. Light has fallen, darkness grows, and yes, we fight for our destiny and fate. New days smiling for the past and future. Break the chains, lead the way, fight with me. And when you wake up, avenge your rise, raising up your fists and smashing through time walls. Before the rift splinters again, we are rivals till the end. Rise up, avenge your mind, hold on to your powers, no one can stop us. We are rivals again until the end of time. Show me that you are still the only one that matters for me. I'll be waiting for you. Wait up, open your hands, holding on to your heart. Look inside you. Can you feel it? The sparks in you. Add it up, unleash it up. Wake up, open your eyes, raising up your fists and smashing through time walls. Before the rift splinters yet again, we are rivals to the end. And rise up, open your mind, hold on to your powers, no one can stop us. We are rivals till the end of time. 한껏 더 높이 날아올라 내 누워진 밤하늘을 가로질러 Oh yeah, oh yeah. 필요할 때 내가 널 지켜줄게 간절히 바라면 이루어지는 마법인 거야 운명의 소리 들려 여기서 저기서 날 찾으면 달빛이 날 비춰와 시작해야 let's go 어둡고 흘러는 우주 따뜻한 눈으로 감싸는 순간 신비롭게 녹아
Hello and welcome back. If you are a 100 Thieves fan or Portugal, you're happy. Your team just got another win their way. And we have Museum of Contemplation going towards 100 Thieves, making this thing 1-1. Now, Shib, I would say definitely domination, looking way more towards Stickdrift's side. That one comfortably 100 Thieves. We were talking a bit there before the break, but like, what to you was the big standout difference?
Yeah, I mean, I think they kind of, well, there's a couple things for me. One, I think the Vanguard front, this map is just really good for Thieves. I think they were able to kind of rotate around, but also the dive front, right? Getting rid of the rocket was super important because you have a target to get after. On the dive, it's so hard to go after a Gambit rocket. No, obviously Fox can come into play, but Fox as a whole doesn't have as much neutral poke healing, so you struggle when they're not full dive. So yeah, it makes it more easy to commit. And as you can see, just across the board, the KOs, the finals from Self was 17, and then TTK with 14 on that Emma, not going down a single time on the attack.
Yeah, 32k damage. That's a vintage TTK if I've ever seen it, man. And that's what you have to have with the stakes so high in these playoffs. I mean, what we said earlier about this team is they're able to get that damage, but not the limbs. Well, they final hit just absolutely banged out there in the stat department. And I mean, one thing to highlight is we will be looking in just a moment with those stats. You know, take a look at Logan. We kind of said Luna was going to be a tough really hero to play at this point because with the rocket not available, right, that's going to switch up what him and Silent Blaze are able to do. And then you've got Tones and Iffy on the dive against Delina and Self on the dive. You're just going to explode if you're Luna.
Yeah, it's tricky. It's tricky. There was some swapping going around trying to find the right solution. And again, it just, you know, you just got taken out a lot. It's so hard to stay healthy, you know, when you're not something like Gambit, like we talked about, where you have these massive self-healing dashes and a card on command to keep yourself, you know, juiced up anytime you need it. So more tricky for certain. And that's why, you know, they shake up the ban phase. Getting rid of that rocket, like we just discussed, was of utmost importance. Shout out to Thieves, played that really clean.
Yeah, for sure. Especially like if you looked at Stickdrift being able to ban the Cyclops, you know, ban that Star-Lord, it just did not matter. And this is definitely, that was a good Cyclops map. And so, you know, back to the drawing board on how to kind of enable that backline that carried you through the group stage, got you to where you are now, and continue to fuel. Because we know Ritas can play anything at that point. They even swapped off that Cyclops, right? Like, didn't even need to rely on that. And this is all forehead right now as we take a look at the player cam.
My dude, push that camera away a little bit. No, I love it. I love it. Just locked in cam right there. That's what I look like when I'm leaning forward. You know what I mean? When you're getting serious about the game, and we are getting serious, folks, in a 1-1 situation. They are setting up right now, folks, for those who are curious when the next game is going to start. You know, it's not on us. They're just trying to get things in order, setting up the correct servers and maps for the team. And speaking of maps for the team, the next one that is going to be selected is going to be Central Park from Stickdrift.
Are definitely interesting here. You know, I dare I say, you know what I want to see more of? I'm going to just say it's Human Torch. I've been playing a lot of Torch lately. Do you know Ritas used to play like nothing but Torch back in, I believe it was more of last year, but that'd be sick to see. This is a map where you definitely do favor some Torch matchup, but not sure if we're going to see that with what this team has cooking because there's so many other picks available and it's kind of, you know, more traditional in the role now. But either way, this map, always fun. That 0.1 can be brutal to take. And that momentum carries heavy in this map. Excited to see it.
Yeah, it's another one of those maps that it enables more unique Vanguards. I think this is a great group map. This is a great penny map on defense, right? You talk about, you know, more flying opportunities because the pillars, they're indestructible. So you have some cover to play around. There is a lot you can do here. I'm curious if it'll influence the bans. It's another decent rocket map on defense because you can hide those BRBs with a little more confidence, knowing that the dive can't really get through you too much without getting caught at least. So a lot of opportunity here. We'll see who takes that advantage in the ban phase.
Yeah, this is definitely a map, as you said, that does influence. Like, I would say there's obviously like meta maps, and what you play is going to be, you know, seeing a lot of the same. But this is a map that does encourage a bit of creativity with your comps, depending on the point, depending on what they're playing against you as well. Obviously, even back to the Black Hat portals of old, was one of the best at it. Obviously, not going to see too much of that today. But you know, with that fortress and then a little bit of the right side of dive, can be kind of tricky on how you want to handle it. I'm interested in the Vanguard front. Do you think, you know, how do TTK and Vinny kind of handle this if you're them, Shib?
In terms of what they're going to play or what they want to, I mean, there's a lot of opportunity. I think this is a decent Angela map. You can off map pretty early on, and it's pretty attackable. It's decent for the dive front on Cap, but we haven't really seen Cap from Thieves, so maybe we see the Groot on defense early on because they will be defending. It looks like the attack's going to be going on in favor of Stickdrift early on. Groot's got some potential. I don't think they're not going to be running that penny stuff, so something more traditional, likely a Venom, maybe a Cap alongside potentially a Groot or an Angela with a group, but that's just an option for them. We'll see what they like to do as Cyclops gets removed from Stickdrift.
It's a good call out because I think either you're going to see the Venom from Vinny or that Angela from TTK, and then the other one play more that anchor role. Going to stick with the same bands. I like it. This is a disgusting Cyclops map with just how close the action is, especially to burst both point 1 and 3. So I do like the call. Going to stay with the same bands on their side, but also plenty of windows for 100 Thieves and what Delena cooks up on either Psylocke or the Elsa. Didn't see much of Elsa last time. We'll continue to see as this last save goes to them. And you would think it's Cyclops, probably. I don't know if they feel like they need to go that way with them ban. Okay, gonna go with the Wolf.
Okay, again, there's some decent off-map opportunities here when you do, typically, this is where it's funky. They remove the rocket. Thieves remove the rocket from them, so there will not be the extended jump. And that's kind of what you need, unless you just have some really perfect pulls here for off-map on attack. But maybe the idea is to try to just pull them back to the back line, get some good focus early on, open the doors a bit, but there will be a BRB to match back some of those early pull KOs.
Yeah, and I'm wondering, obviously, you got to shut down the attack helicopter that is Wolverine in the team up with Cyclops. So that could have been bait, right? But they also got rid of it last time. So Wolverine doing two things at once. You now kind of force the Cyclops ban, but you also have that counter to Groot. So now you're going to maybe look to force the Angela instead of having, or the Venom for Vinny, right? Because you shut down those key heroes. There's just, I mean, you would know, man, one of the strongest counters in this game. And just when there's Logan on the other team and not the player, but the X-Men, it can just be so tough to get that value.
Yeah, I hate it with a passion of 100 Suns. Wolverine, incredibly strong, especially with that team up. Becomes an actual helicopter and can kind of just fly around wherever. You can build that claw charge quickly. And all of that matters with Wolverine, for those who maybe didn't understand how it works, is you just got to be close, essentially touching. You don't need to be in the LOS of the pull. As long as you are touching whoever you want to pull, the pull will guaranteed grab them. It's within like a meter. So keep that in mind. You'll see a lot of the pros sometimes even grabbing targets that are behind them or just in weird spots. They're able to just make that work out well. So we'll see if Doomed can make that happen on the attack here as we start off right now.
Already, gates open up, and just like that, we're going to see how this team chooses to go about it. Already have that fastball special locked and loaded. Haven't seen a lot of tones on the Hulk already, but man, this is why that ban comes in so much handy, because it just brings that aggression right to you. And hey, guess what? Self on the torch. I'm telling you, Chip, been playing nothing but the torch lately. This is a killer map for him.
Yeah. Oh, but still gets him out of the sky. He's able to get bubbled right there. And wow, almost loses passive, but instead, great bubble to keep him healthy in that moment as we see Winnie got to bring himself back into the fight. TTK off maps tones. And there's that Angela that we were discussing. And there's that location to make it happen. So what a return right back. One tick does come through for SCD though.
Yeah, I do like the... Okay, so obviously your best hero to have with you is going to be Ultron if you're Torch. Hulk is going to be the biggest threat to him. Obviously, it can be a little tough to go against the Bucky as well. But if you're Self, you're going to be looking to be a little bit of a bunker hero here. Wow. Look at the flying Terror. My God, looks like Terror of old. Now is Self just trying to stay alive. This fire's going to be put out fast. Forced to use the cooldown already for the quick overhealth, and the slam down is the Torch. And just like that, these Sky Heroes are falling.
Yeah, I think they weren't expecting the fastball special to be that clean. It essentially took Self out of the fight for both fights, and then Wolverine was able to stay in there, not even losing passive a single time. Wow, Stickdrift. What a way to walk into this quickly. Really clean plays with the fastball there, and I was sleeping on that team up in the ban phase, but it makes sense now.
And you get that quick 10-second sponsored segment of the Human Torch, and now is put out. Self is going to go on over to that Wolverine, and
it's like the equivalent of meeting your hero and he just sucks. You know what I mean? Because you wanted to see.
Dude, I'm so sad. I got like 40 hours on the Torch this season, man. I've had so much fun. I've been ready for it too. I'm like, I can't wait to cast Torch. Yeah, 10 seconds, dead and gone. It's like, all right, cool. But
I'm dying.
This is all momentum here, right, though, Shib? I mean, just getting point 1 that fast allows you to push up this hill pretty quickly.
Yeah, and they do have ult advantage on the back of winning those fights. That does give you the next fight advantages. Redis is able to drop Delena. Doom finds Self. The res comes through, but still a number up and still moving with his Kraken impact. Do I see even more? Redis gonna pause for the moment, not able to look towards Winnie, who does escape. Good movement there by the Rocket to take to the ceiling. And folks, you'll see a lot of these fights be won, and then the next fight will win because they just have ult advantage. That's kind of how it goes, and that's why sometimes in ranks it feels so one-sided. You just got to wait out some of these fights and try to regroup.
Dude, right now, yeah, Self is on mystery heroes. I mean, I've seen like 4 different at play, just trying to find what fits best here. Winning to go throw up, get that offensive boost for him. Agamotto out and ready, and everything being slammed down. It is just one side on that elimination feed. Painted in red, how appropriate for Central Park. The pop, Delina trying to make something happen, but it is a speed run. Chip, 5 minutes is an eternity. Oh, the backhand slap.
Disgusting. Wow. Yeah, I mean, they're making this look clinical. This is something they've clearly worked on. This is an absolute force right now, and 100 Thieves are just trying to find a solution. TTK going to be going over to that Emma, obviously. We've seen that switch as Vinny now back on the Thing. And I will say, we haven't seen Thing come into too much impact in the group stages or even so far here in this playoff segment of Ignite.
Yeah, we're looking to slow things down because the comp's been tough. Like early with the first comp with Torch, that was like their only really source of what they could pump out, had to swap up. Now it's kind of all here on Delina and more of what TTK can do on the front line. Obviously, you know, Stickdrift did commit a lot to get that last point, as they should with 4 minutes remaining. That does give a little bit of time for 100 Thieves to be able to hold this wall strong, and they keep Helm's Deep safe there from the horde that's coming towards them. Doom rotating back, good rotations overall. Regis does have that crack and slam down. I mean, could they even force the straddle here? That would be, you know, the win they're looking for.
Yeah, they might be able to. We are going to see some answers available, some things to slow the pace up. Self can start up, and yes, or you can see the clobbering time, which lands, but not on too many. It's matched right back by the boundaries on both sides. The Venn diagram. Regis comes out on top onto Vinny, a huge target that pays for it, but the Glartrox is out. Delena able to find 2, looking for an answer here, and they might have found it. Maybe it's at the back of this Elsa, and that's going to be a triple here as 100 Thieves regain control. Out time.
Yeah, man, that Pokemon coming stomach completely full after that. 3 easy to go ahead and reset, though. And Winnie at least coming back, they're going to have to really try to play this out patiently, though, because you can have the Gambit match the Gambit, right? So you can have quick aggression. They know Millennia just used the ult as well. So if you're Stickdrift, I would just say put everything to the max. I mean, heck, see what you can get out of this first hit and be the one to initiate the Gambit ult if I'm them. Maybe they're waiting for Doom to get a bit closer, but you don't want to give him too much time, right? We know how fast you Storm can get things rolling. It is going to be 100 Thieves. Push the Q first.
There's the eye of Agamotto. It's huge from if he finds a few, but it does get answered. Tones cleans up Self. It's going to be 1, so that's worth it always in the end. Sometimes it also just burning cooldowns is big, but here goes the commitment now. What a play here onto Winnie. A huge pick on to the back line. Can we see more from Tones just trying to look forward? Stall is there as Doom just still holding on to all Regis as well. This is very much Stickdrift's to lose as they will launch everything to get this point closed out.
Oh my goodness, yeah, forward and forehead is nothing but Tone showing on the camera. Millennia now finding 1 in the pick quick. It's going to be Regis with another, slams it down. 100 Thieves just trying to hold on. Self on the wall, and they find anything from it. Another big dinner time coming up in the, or at least with a couple, but unable to get nothing out of there except for Iffy Regis. Okay, finding something here, but forcing yet another invisible 1.61 chip.
I mean, shout out Thieves. That was very much Stickdrift's to lose. I think the knockout of the sky, which I believe was from Vinny off a right hook. I'm not even sure for sure. I believe that was the case, but either way, removing that from the sky from the side of Doomed, who had a huge ultimate available, just committed and falls immediately. Even though Vinny lost and got KO'd after the fact, that is so worth. So really huge retake there from Thieves. It's 1 minute and 46 after a 5-minute attack.
Yeah, you know, honestly, good call out there, because Thing is a great answer to what is the Strange and Hulk front line. I actually like that a lot from them, and able to definitely slow things down. You can go right through that Strange Shield, answer what you said to that Star-Lord as well. See what else they can look for. Obviously, the clobbering time's a bit harder to land, but even getting 1 from the value would be huge. You use that protection more than aggression to the Thing, and there it is. Holding hand ready. Are they going to go with Vinny's charging in, going in? Self finds Tones. That's everything they want now. And again, 5 minutes down to 1 chip.
Yeah, and it is going to be another pick here from TTK onto Regis. Winnie holding on, staying healthy with that movement. And now, again, the presence is known. Ultimate advantage here for 100 Thieves. They're doing a great job holding on with that spawn advantage. Question is now, can they close this out and push it this far? This has been a very clean attack by Stickdrift until these final few fights. But either way, look at ults. Going to be 100 Thieves up.
Yeah, I mean, they both have a lot here to kind of swing they got a lot to swing either way, but yeah, I would definitely say I'm favoring a bit of 100 Thieves. Vinny's been holding on to this clobbering time for too much time, in my opinion. But either way, Self ready for the fastball. They get a big pick. I mean, imagine getting Tones here into that fall-off cliff. That would be the play of the tournament. They can land it, flying in the sky, finding what they can. There it is quickly. Is going to get the kidnap, but Doom up and above. TTK going to keep the silence on what is Star-Lord. All eyes on Doom. He does get the pick on Self, but honestly still fine as 100 Thieves.
Really smart movement there to stay away from the Sonic Seduction. TTK was holding that for that. The combination goes out. The clobbering time of his match backed by a huge eye. Millennia, though, going to find Tones. Iffy takes out Delena. Rita's now looking for another pick. It's back and forth here off of a ton of ults. We're going to see the movement now into some heroes that can get to point quickly. Overtime ticking down. The next pick goes to Self, who finds Ritas. Can Thieves hold on here as there are more battles as Self finds another pick on Iffy. Winnie onto Doomed. And this could be it here. No, Blaze says it's not over yet. Goodbye to Self. But here goes a Raging Royal Flush match from back on both sides. It's going to be a bit of a stall, but it looks like that will be the hold. Well done, Thieves.
I mean, dude, that was incredible for Thieves to lock it up and be the opposite of Thieves in that regard. I mean, dude, the fact that they were able to really just hold down, and Vinny with the thing going in on that ult and still getting hit with the Agamotto, but staying within Millennia. Millennia showing why, you know, a bit more of that offensive strategist that we kind of highlighted earlier, getting that ace so far. 3 finals to the name, 20k healing, 8k damage. That backline really got it done for them, buddy. I was impressed with the way they answered what was just a relentless attack.
Yeah, I mean, that is very strong. 15-2 from Millennia, like you said, looking good on those heroes so far. We're going to see the shift in composition here for defense, but yeah, and there's going to be that Emma Groot combination, so they aren't going to be running the Angela on defense. But either way, yeah, like you're saying, I mean, this was very back and forth. I will say it was absolutely dominated by Stickdrift. But you know what, folks? Take this as a lesson in ranked, right? You saw how those fights looked early here for Stickdrift. Just walking through them with ult advantage. 100 Thieves just trying to find their footing. Forced to ultimate to even get to point. Wasting ults for that effort. And then they finally get their feet under them and they hold the whole point 3. That is absolutely something that can happen to you in ladder as well. Never give up. But you can see, look at that, the penny being played by Tones.
Wow, locked in indeed, falling from that first domination and looking all the part here now. Got to push to 3 to get that win pretty much. Penny Parker, you know, obviously very strong map on this map, has that bunker even more so. Really, Ritas is going to be, you know, held to responsible for what he does most for this team, and that is the full damage department. Not going to be a lot outside of that. Doom going to be trying to hunt Vinny. If they can continue to get that and get him uncomfortable on his best hero, to be able to make Thieves struggle here. Pushing in right away, though. I do like Cruz just trying to get the walls up on that nest right away.
That's a lot of movement here. They're getting in quickly, but what a pull. Goodbye, Self. Get deleted right into the mines, playing around this heavily. The rest is going to come into play the BRB, so numbers are evened out, but getting rid of that early on is not a bad take. Still trying to play around this spawner. Use it like it's a player on your team and protect it as much as you possibly can. Vinny trying to get a wall there. Just barely misses it instead. Elects to throw it around the front line. It's close to being broken now, and that's going to give them the space they need to walk forward. The mines have been burned by the Vanguard, so they're feeling a little more safe to walk forward. Here goes the pressure now. Wolverine's out. You can see the circle on the ground from the ironwood wall of the front line of that group, and playing inside of it. The Sia goes out as Self drops Doomed, and that could be an early couple ticks here from 100 Thieves.
And that nest was staying alive for an eternity, bro. That was the 7th player for a while there, but either way, yeah, able to get that first ult is why Rocket is just so clutch for this team and why the ban has come into such importance. But either way, able to at least touch and look at just a absolute spec left to claim, and they're able to get at least some presence on there. But it's going to be the quick finish and cleanup job from 100 Thieves. And now they've got 5 minutes in return, but
yeah, just not enough commitment there from Stickdrift. Just playing a little bit too on their heels. They lost that first pick. They ended up regrouping, and then they only kept one on point. And as soon as you know, that front line was removed, it was an immediate cap. You just got to be a little more aggressive than that, I believe, in those moments. Great portal there from 100 Thieves to play aggro. Notice how the portal is always facing away from the enemy on the ground, folks. Make sure you're doing that. It is essentially a wall for your team to play around. Try to cut off LOS at the back line or anything you can do in that front, but keep it away from the enemy so your team can get on point easily, and they do just that. And we're going to see a strangling prison opportunity shortly.
Chip, how are you feeling about this defensive comp for Stickdrift here? It feels like it might be a little spread out here, and if they don't secure the limbs that they're looking for, something like the fastball, it's like, it's going to be tough, man, to be able to survive what is Self on the Psylocke. It's kind of what we saw in Museum of Contemplation.
Yeah, it's more difficult to get Wolverine value when you're playing constantly an Ironwood wall. Very safe walls here from Groot, and then Emma, TTK, especially on Emma, was just holding that diamond form until you hear Wolverines around, and the comms are going to be flowing for these teams. So they see that right there. The diamond form comes out as soon as Wolverine comes into play. It's going to force them backwards, so they're playing on their heels once more. Out goes a huge cutterfly, but it doesn't land. Self going to be on that as Delena comes in. Finds Ritas. Do I see a two-piece now? Looking to escape with it as the Meteor M, trying to make sure that doesn't get value. Oh, that would have been disgusting. I'm not even sure what it landed on, but a good idea.
Did he hit that? It feels like he hit it, but it just didn't finish off the, or at least to the right of the rooftop. So much destructible damage here. But either way, good response out of the Groot ult. Being able to stay alive through the Cutterfly, as you said, as well. Doesn't need it, though, as the dash finishes Tones. And Bruce Banner back. 3 are hit up, but not slammed down. Juke does find Vinny, getting him out of here. 3 minutes left and falling. Either way, though, there's that BRB coming to so much use. TTK trying to get all eyes on those guys. You say best, bud. It's just going to be 100 Thieves finding one after the other.
Wow, and they just take it. Yeah, again, trying to play a little slower, trying to get their feet under them, and 100 Thieves are matching that energy right back. They experienced it, and they want to try to dish that right back to them. And they're moving forward. They are going to have ult advantage quickly here. Stickdrift, but the problem is when you're defending, when you have that Raging Royal Flush, a lot of the time you want to answer with it. You don't always want to initiate, because if you have it longer, it's a big advantage if your team's playing smart. So we'll see if Logan holds on, or if they elect to be, yeah, it could be very important fight.
God, you cannot lock these Thieves out, buddy. They're locked in, ready to roll, seeing if they can push this third point up, already around the corner. See, again, as you said, can they answer the same call of defense? And they're, again, a little bit of a scatter comp here. You're going to have Tones on the tank pool, Iffy in the back line, just trying to stall that thing. But the already finds Doom, and this is the same problem we found ourselves in the last map and how they fell from what was looking like a successful push for them. Ritas now spinning the win, finds nothing as the quick cut into Lina with the hit of the pistol. And man, Thieves are just erasing this team, making this defense nothing.
Yeah, that's even more confidence boost. You match the flushes back and forth, and you get the first pick on the attack, and they are still pushing this thing as a unit. Delena holding on to this Kraken impact. We've seen what can be done with it. Delena incredibly strong when there is a gun in hand. There's going to be more commitment. Bang, goes down. There's Iffy trying to stall. Clobbering time to buy more time. Can they get this pick? They do. They use the Kraken impact off that to get the ball rolling, but it's matched back with the invisible boundary, and Logan finds the pick on Delena. Huge pick by Logan there.
Yeah, if that pick didn't happen, it could be almost impossible, but they were able to just capitalize from it, right? Moving outside of it, because for a while that front line moved to another country, my guy, but they were able to at least slow things down. Now looking at the old advantage, they're looking pretty good there. Obviously don't have the 2 strat ults, and so those are going to naturally go up with the same with Self and Winnie, or with Winnie. But either way, man, if you're 100 Thieves, just playing the neutral here with TTK, maybe starting things off and finish it with Isia.
Yeah, and another thing to call out is what I don't love is seeing the Vanpool coming out this late. I don't think there's any levels here for Stickdrift as they're pulling on a .3, so it's going to be tough. But Delena finds the first pick onto Doomed. The back of the Sia from Millennia, so there is some commitment there. Iffy and Rita still holding on to ultimates. Logan actually surprisingly close. Winnie going to be close as well at 70. TTK starts off with the Psionic looking up into the sky, trying to keep Ritas away, and that is the good answer that we're talking about. Just matching that back and forth because we know how strong, Star-Lord can be. Surprised they didn't want to hold that for the Raging Royal Flush, but I do believe it's because they knew it was going to be answered. Delena finds Iffy. TTK on the chase. Who's looking so good on this Emma.
Yeah, just trying to maybe burn it before they got themselves into a tough, here in the palace in front of Dracula. You can't avoid it at all. But either way, Logan able to stay alive and put the cards on the players. This is where it's time to shine as Winnie does the same. This is the fight of the neutrals. What team's going to get it done to move their team up 1 in this series? Best of 5. Now, if you just try to stay alive as the symbiote, the dive down, self-cutting with that dance execution. Can he find? No. All of them clumped together well. At this point, Chip going to have that clobbering time, but time's ticking. Can't C9 again.
Yeah, they almost did, but they get there. Meter on. But Delena's commitment starts up now. He's waiting for a moment. Going to land it on a few here to try to hope that anybody can clean that up instead. Going to try to drop out. Is going to be BRB. Silent Blaze finds that pick. Numbers should still be even here in this next fight. It's going to be a neutral battle, folks. Millennia going to be closest to the Sia. And if they're able to hold on to the team, they are not as Winnie goes down. Another clutch pick there. Silent Blaze able to take out Delena. And we are heading to final fight territory as the whole team resets.
And Blaze, man, has been getting some of these key picks to give the team a chance. And And they almost had that. If you didn't have Winnie fall there, you had Millennia with the ult advantage to give them the see ya, and then I think you kind of had it, right? But no.
Yeah.
Instead, going to now have to reset the full last fight potential. Maybe, you know, obviously going to use the portal ahead of time to try to get that advantage. And I do like the call here.
Yeah, me too. This is aggro. I like this play very much. They're fully committing to this right now, and they are going to try to, yes, Millennia with the Psionic Seduction. Thighs out, cries out, but no. Gets blocked instantly, but TTK finds Tones. 2 go down here as goodbye to the DD. The lawyer falls now. No ultimates are going to be available. Doom going to be the closest. Can they buy enough time? Self-drop Silent Blaze. Aletta onto Iffy, and that's going to do it. 100 Thieves take this and make it a 2-1 series.
Man, another clean getaway for 100 Thieves, and that is the team that we have seen have that clutch factor. Silent Blaze gets up from the chair, can't believe it, as they had such a great push into 2. The only team up to right now going to be the Thieves, man. What an absolute great map. Obviously, that was what they felt like. Stickdrift could kind of answer back, but man, now all on the heels in this best of 5, guys. It's exactly what we thought we came for, Shib. And we are going to be back at it at the other side of this quick break.
지켜줄게 간절히 바라면 이루어지는 마법인 거야 한명의 소리 들려 여기서 저기서 날 찾으면 달빛이 날 비춰와 시작해야 let's go 어둡고 흘러는 우주 따뜻한 눈으로 감싸나 순간 신비롭게 녹아내릴 거야 좀 더 기다려 I'll be there 쓰러지지 마 끝까지 일어나야 해 어딜 가든지 극복해 힘은 너에게 있는 걸 소리 높여 노래를 불러 작은 걱정 따윈 던지고 최선을 다해 작품을 쳐봐 어둠이 떠날 때까지 아름다운 꿈을 밝혀봐 우리에게 달려서 그 세계 운명 어둠이 떠날 때까지 세계 운명 오랜 시간 간직해온 열망 까만 밤의 빛처럼 빛나 네 눈앞에 바로 왔던 나 탑을 딱 봐도 superstar 딱 보면 모두 나널 지킬 나란 걸 더 지켜볼수록 점점 빠져들어 카리스마 넘쳐 흘러 oh yeah 분명히 소리 들려 여기서 저기서 날 찾으면 달빛이 날 비춰와 시작이야 let's go 어둡고 흘러는 우주 따뜻한 눈으로 감싸나 순간 신비롭게 녹아내릴 거야 좀 더 기다려 I'll be there 쓰러지지 마 끝까지 일어나야 해 어딜 가든지 극복해 힘은 너에게 있는 걸 소리 높여 노래를 불러 작은 걱정 따윈 던지고 최선을 다해 작품을 쳐봐 어둠이 떠날 때까지 아름다운 꿈을 밝혀봐 우리에게 달려서 그 세계 운명 눈이 부신 모든
going on, guys, and welcome back to the heater that is 100 Thieves versus Stickdrift Gaming. And again, the map in the hands of Stickdrift. And Chib, gotta say, man, right off the bat, ever since 100 Thieves were able to put the ban and the muzzle on the rocket, they've been able to find success.
Yeah, we talked about that early on, saying that that might be something that would be beneficial to them. I think that BRB was getting a ton of value. Yeah, but either way, it's been looking a lot better. And man, have these matches been pretty tight. It looked one-sided both ways in that match. I wasn't sure it was going to end up, and it went down to the very end, down to the wire. So what a match.
Yeah, it's time to break down, but first our MVP going to Millennia, and that's exactly what you want to see. I mean, we highlighted the start of this stream as the backline of Stickdrift is the best combined in America when you look at healing per 10 minutes, right? Obviously, that can mean a lot of things. They could be played down in group stage. Lots to look at, but either way, you can't ignore the stats. And on the side of 100 Thieves, Millennia, I believe, was ranked like 30th, right? So to be able to climb back like this, crazy.
Yeah, and had 6 finals. That's nothing to joke about. Looking very strong. And speaking of 6 finals, you can see the stats across the board here. Delena having 14, being at the top with Regis in terms of finals across the board. I will say there was impact like from everybody. I don't think it was majorly one side. I don't think it was a huge carry on any direction. Everybody had their moments where they stepped up, but it very well could have been a Stickdrift win too. So tight match here.
It was. I mean, I'm not crazy. I was trying to say this I was saying this to you in behind the scenes here. I wasn't crazy about the comp decisions now on both maps when things were, getting a little tight on the side of Stickdrift. Yeah. Great example, like having the tank pool that late, man, no XP. Like one of the benefits of the tank pool is to build it up over time. Like I didn't love kind of what felt like some panic choices.
Yeah, and you know what? Especially when you're down to just a few meters away, even the small moments of where you are upgrading is a huge disadvantage for your team where you're not focused on what's going on or you need to escape in that moment. It's very, very tricky. So I'm with you on that front. I think it was more so a panic decision trying to find something that could work and maybe to shut down some of this movement and stuff. I honestly, I'm not really sure what the decision was, but I'm with you. Not the right one. But again, TTK, shout out TTK as well on that Emma. One of the very few people still getting value and starting to pick Emma off rip as we see the team having some fun.
What a different look, man, when this team's up versus when they are down. And so the smiles, you got, was that a Snuggie on, bro? Like, what we got going on? Yeah, exactly. Wrong season, man. But no, and it's all nothing but foreheads and focus here for Stickdrift that feel like that one, went away from them. Again, if you don't know, Stickdrift came in second in their group, right? And beat a team like, we lost 2-0. Yeah. Hey, Sentinels came in second in their group, and we lost, really put it to Sentinels. So we're seeing a lot of these teams that beat other teams in the group stage kind of land where they are now. But we said it at the beginning of this cast ship that it feels like this is a meta that does lean towards 100 Thieves and what they specialize in.
Yeah, it forces them to ban out some of the more poke stuff, and that gives them the advantage to play what they want to play all the time. I'm with you 1,000%. And this map going in favor in terms of the selection of Stickdrift is going to be Hall of the Jalia. I think this one is unique, man. We haven't seen a ton of this.
Haven't seen a ton of it, but when we do it, it's from Thieves typically. So, this is a Thieves map. They like this map all the way back to last year, man. I mean, you know how many, game-changing decisions have happened in overtime? Obviously, the call that we were there together on the Delena against the Shock, and it's all about, obviously, the firm defense of that point 1, but it plays similar to Central Park in the way of once you get that point 1, you're able to really get that momentum towards the end of it because you need all the time. Very hard to get a full cap on this one.
Agreed. And I think the first point is super defensible. We used to see back in the day, this was like the Namor map, right? Where you'd hold that height left side and just play with Namor in case anyone's trying to flank. And we've seen some different strategies coming to fruition. The portal play still on the table, especially now that Strange isn't in a horrible spot with this more poke meta. So I'm looking forward to seeing what teams elect to run. It's very dive focused too. You can really kind of choose what you want to do here. You can even get some penny play.
So for sure, as we see the teams lock in, and again, I would like to see probably the rocket ban in return. We have not seen as much value come out on the other side from them. I do understand, how they want to roll with some of these DPS bans, but we've seen time and time again, Delena always answers the phone in the call, and Self, who a lot of viewers, right, have a lot of pressure on this kid, not only because of Terra leaving and all of that, and Terra, obviously, if you haven't known, is still looking like the best DPS player in the world. Right? Big shoes to fill, but also as a player, what does he bring to this Thieves team? And he's shown it now in these last 2 maps. Gonna go ahead and open up with same mirror pick and bans. Gonna go right away with the quick Cyclops ban though for Stickdrift.
Yeah, it makes sense. And I like what you're saying. And, you know, you can kind of allow, I mean, Cyclops is, in my opinion, the best hit scan in the game right now. You could let him sneak through if you want to get rid of the rocket. I see that they're not, you know, Thieves is removing the rogue. I see that Stickdrift maybe not prioritizing it. I don't think that's a bad decision either, because I don't think Thieves feels as comfortable on that hero. But either way, yeah, I guess the next man's going to be Angela out here from Stickdrift, not allowing TTK to move up in the sky.
Yeah, we don't. I think it was Vinny played Rogue once. We don't often see. I think if you do look at 100 Thieves and why last meta was so weird for them is they don't have a ton of rotation in their vanguards, right? And with Devil Dino and the way that he changed the pace of play, like that was their weak point and why it came in third in some of the matchups, in my opinion. But there it is, the Rocket Ban, the Rocket Save, and we're getting more of the same from Stickdrift, who feel confident in their choices. I do think the Angela, man, I don't know how I feel about this Stickdrift, you know, ban phase, I'll be honest.
Yeah, I'm with you that I think Rocket needed to take a little bit more priority. Angela can be good here, but I don't think she's just the end-all be-all, especially if you're, you know, I don't think they really struggled with it and forced her off. You know, obviously Central Park's maybe not as much of an Angela map, but either way, you know, actually, that's not even necessarily true. There's certain points where she plays great, but either way, they elect to not do that. They're going to keep the Cyclops for themselves. Cyclops is all, even with combination of things like Groot, though, it doesn't cut through strat line ults. You can focus it on the Sia if you want to try to remove that quickly. Either way, it doesn't one-shot it, so it's not that much of a trade. It does kind of force out the focus. If they have any strat line ult and they match immediately into Cyclops, you stay healthy. So I don't know, man. I think the prio on Rocket enabling these duelists is more impactful than having the duelist itself, and I think that's what we're seeing over this matchup.
Yeah, with that Ultron ban, right? Typically, that's going to lean more towards your going dive. And so I think they're going to play a bit more of the comp that we saw in Museum of Contemplation. If you are on the side of 100 Thieves, Delina highlighting the hell of old. I mean, man, if you've been a fan for Rivals for quite some time, that was Delina back in the day. But now, as a new team, new map, new chance to tie the series up for Stickdrift, you see them locking in. Okay, holds on. Will the Southern BA have an appearance? Yes, we've seen some scrims and off-pro map practicing here. I like it.
Yeah, nope. Me too. Oh, psych.
Damn it.
Oh, man, again, it's like the torch thing, but this time even faster. But, yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's the best. We have rarely, if ever, seen triple holds on this map, right? Like you typically see that on convoys and sometimes conversions, but it's far less frequent. Convoys tends to be the case. So I was pretty surprised there. I was wondering what the shift was going to be. And I mentioned Namor getting some play. What do you know? Doomed, who has been disgusting on that hero in the past, is going to see some Namor play. Shout out J3, who loves that hero as well.
Yeah, you know, definitely need, though, for this comp. It's kind of tough to get it rolling, but once you do, it's really hard to stop. Obviously, that's why it makes such a good defensive comp, but either way, we are seeing 100 Thieves play exactly near similar to what they had on Museum. Vinny going to be unset on the Venom to help out that backline. Stuff about to be deleted from the video game already, and quickly trying to find that top corner. Delina is now hunting with the shotgun. They're kind of struggling if they're going to go top or mid, using some of both. Doom looks like he's up there on top. And oh man, finds a pick, and this is going to give him the momentum. That's everything.
Yeah, really good start. The res comes through from Winnie, though. Numbers are even. It was a huge pick, but again, still going to be evened out, and that's the advantage of having that BRB on these defensible early points. Can they get the first tick? It looks like they don't yet. Forces out some cooldowns here from Doom, who looks upwards. Good escape and good movement there from Delena, I believe, who's able to escape around that corner. And what a retake. Really good movement here on the defensible side of 100 Thieves, who have not lost a soldier just yet, as the BRB was committed.
Yeah, that's a good shout. And why I like the pick so much, even with the BRB, is that you can just set up more as the Namor. But 100 Thieves did play really good as usage movement to get in there and try to make it uncomfortable, force the bubble cooldown and more. And there it is. Regis finds another that's going to proc the cooldown, continue on the pressure, Tones with another. And just like that, going to force these Thieves out of here. The Whale comes slamming down, crashing down, finds nothing but the balcony top. Is now Doom forced to push back, bubble back. They're not on cooldown, or is on cooldown, sorry, but is not going to play a factor.
Really smart decision there from Doom. You know, I talked about Cyclops doing that sometimes as well, just removing the Sia as fast as you can. There's immediately going to give them the point. Very smart decision making across the board here from Stickdrift, who looked so practiced on this map. And folks, notice Regis is on the Hela. Typically, we've been seeing Phoenix as the choice for hit scan. And although this team up may, you know, give you a little bit of a factor, it just seems to be that the pros believe that Hela is just a better hit scan after the changes to Phoenix. So keep that in mind. It's something to think about, at least, as you don't always need to match the pros, but it is something that should stick in the mind a little bit. We haven't seen that in quite some time.
No, it's a good shout out. And as I said, like, again, just being able to get that early advantage with the team up just makes it so hard to defend. It's kind of like when you have an offensive penny or domination penny. If you can get that point first, it's like going to be really an uphill battle for the team. But either way, we do have the triple Vanguard now. Self going to be on the rogue, who can play a bit more of that duelist, if you will, on the off angle. Going to have to do that perfectly with Aridus and Doom, because Aridus does not miss, as we've seen the Thorns throwing. And there goes the Heaven Fallen. Can they get anything out of it? Love the distraction that sets up Aridus here in the sky.
They're looking for something at this moment. Vinny down below, still holding on off the piece of the Abyss. Going to drop back to the team. Nobody falls. There is some commitment from both sides there. Ult's going to still be in favor for Stickdrift, only for a little bit, as Millennia's going to be close to that Sia.
Look out for the whale, the old Wombo combo, man. The Namor and Luna matchup. I mean, that has just been tried and true. And okay, gonna launch it early. It pays for it. Never mind.
Yeah, and instead the pick goes from Vinny over to Doom. Sometimes patience is a virtue. Didn't elect to do that right there. The portal comes out now from the side of Tones to use that as a wall. Notice again, folks, it's on the low side facing away towards your team and away from the enemy, so you can use it as a wall. Really good movement here. Delena is going to find the first pick now in the neutral fight, as that's going to put them up a number. Logan holding on to the dance floor. Self is actually over on that rogue now. Might see the Heartbreaker come out in just a moment. TTK on the Magneto. Been a minute since we've seen that, folks. Millennia has Sia available as well. The unit itself did steal that ability right there to give the team a bit of shielding. Well played.
Love to let it going on hell up. Be like, all right, I'll show you who's LARPing here, Aridus. You get back off my hero. And gets himself the quick swap up and the team up gone. Doom now going obviously to the wall. They got to answer what is this Vanguard positioning, because again, Rogue is so dangerous in self-sustain, and with those increases on the damage out on the punch and the block with Magneto to boot, man, you are making every bit of that Gambit team up come to light.
Yeah, we can see now, again, 100 Thieves doing a good job defending there after losing first point quickly. Seems to be the story on these maps here, these convergence maps. So we can see Tones trying to set up here with this fastball special. Again, head gets a ton of value, but something they really like to use. So there's the full team switch.
Self now going in with the ult that we thought the moment it landed in the game would have impacted pro play. And yes, you do have the new team up with Wolverine to be able to really slice and dice through these Vanguards. But either way, Delena going to find Tones out of this thing. It's the front line falling quickly. Just gets a pop and a finish, but this team's got to rotate back and wait for this sixth member to come and join their squad, and they stagger, man, and this is going to have time to evaporate. Then again, 5 minutes to go with now only a minute 30, and all the momentum on the side of Thieves.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. I was going to say it's tough to run Hulk into something like this, because now you not only have the CC, or the movement from the back line, but now you have the CC coming in from Rogue, who can just kind of tie you down if you are playing that Hulk. And that's what we're seeing now. Self trying to escape. Oh, what a freeze there. Immediately gets tranced. The Sonic Seduction. Unfortunate positioning there from Delena. Just caught up against the wall. Not going to be able to get too much value out of that. That's a net win here for Stickdrift. We're walking forward with a ton of ults available. It's their fight to lose. As Aridus now finds Vinny and gets them moving. 1 minute left. And I'm not sure that they'll have Portal. They might have it by the end of this last minute.
Yeah, it'll be close. Yeah, Delena, I guess, was just ulting to keep alive because he was about to fall there. He got frozen, if I saw correctly. But hey, gets the pressure too. My gosh, Doom up, down. But around, nothing from it. Logan does get a finish off on TTK, but there goes the huge advantage of having that rocket, bringing back one of the big Vanguards, the big three that they have. And that allows to, obviously, the strategies to cook up those ults that much quicker. Aridus with the quick pop and finish goodbye. TTK feared nothing except the X-Men that is Cyclops.
You just kind of get in the habit that you can eat everything, but when Cyclops is in, Meteor M does not stop the laser, and that is brutal. A couple shots are right to the dome and immediately pays for Aridus. Finds Self, and this should be the point here. Well done by Stickdrift. Point 12. Yes, that will do it.
Dude, it's so funny that in early access, you test everything, right? We both were like, oh man, Magneto doesn't eat Cyclops, right? And it comes back to light here, as that was what was able to finish. Like, how poetic, as that is just a huge difference. That laser was able to cut through Magneto.
Yeah, I mean, and your team kind of puts less priority on you in the sky, your backline, because they think you're protecting yourself, and if you don't bubble yourself prior, I mean, you saw Aridus just essentially 100-0 to Magneto right there. So it really is something to keep in mind. You got to be wary of the Cyclops. So Winnie holding on here to the Raging Royal Flush. There's so many ults available once again for Stickdrift. Delena going to catch back up. Self going to be close. Vinny as well, but pretty much everyone on Stickdrift will have it in this fight. Match right back on both sides. Raging Royal Flush, the first pick last time, went to Thieves. Will Stickdrift be able to make that work? Instead, it's a neutral. Nobody goes down just yet as both teams drop back.
Yeah, I think if you're Stickdrift here too, you probably get off the Wolf, but they're trying to get that value. They do pin Vinny, find something from it, but here comes Self with the quick cut of the dance. Butterfly finds 2-3 with it, and that's going to be a team wipe. At least most of them for that, and now with only 30 seconds left, I mean, I don't know. Doom's at 95, keep that going. You have plenty of ults. I mean, you have plenty to at least get into the last purple room, which is what you have to do in the least on this map.
Yeah, this is going to be kind of a, not necessarily a panic play, but Millennia's going to try to hide this Sia, this ultimate here around this corner. They're going to try to take this fight as soon as they see something come through because Regis, Logan, and Tones will have ultimate right now, and they've got to try to get an early pick. So likely going to need to match it quickly as they will have some sort of answers here from Regis. Got to hide this Sia. Oh, the BRB gets found there from Regis. Good eye. Going to be a huge, and again, taking out the 7th man in that moment.
Try to hold on to Logan's ult if you're going to be Stickdrift. It'd be tough to do, obviously, but if they just get the value from Regis or have Silent Blaze charge up enough, they can get enough momentum to push in because one fight wins not going to be enough. There's going to need P2. They do find enough. And Logan is holding on to the ult, so things are going in the way of Stickdrift because obviously that rocket ult going down as well. The quick deletion of that ship gives the momentum back to Stickdrift. Now Silent Blaze and Logan both ready to charge up. Winnie now falls on 80%, dude. That could be what they need.
Now, this is clinical here from Stickdrift. They really did not overcommit early in these fights. TTK with the Psionic Seduction is the only answer for the moment. Winnie could have it in this fight if they're able to stall, but trying to get past this. Angela, TTK opens up now with the Psionic. Looks back to protect backline. Self trying to move forward here. Overtime ticking down. Just a few meters away. Doomed is going to find 2, but Self says not up in here. Trades that back. Will there be another coming through? Tones drops the letter. The numbers are falling here for 100 Thieves, and Stickdrift will do it. All 3 points.
What a perfect answer in comp, man. We said with 30 seconds left, we didn't like the Wolf. We wanted things to change for him, and it was just the King of the Sea who was able to really flip the script. And exactly what we wanted to see. Can they get the value out of the Regis ult? That's why you saved the Cyclops, right? They kind of didn't use that in the first point or 2 advantage, but they were able to hang on, use Logan to finish the rest, and that was clinical, as you said, from Stickdrift to really put the pressure on Thieves now and even up this score.
Yeah, these two, you know, I said this should be a pretty good matchup, but they really have been putting everything on the line here. It feels like far more of an, at-risk stakes game than it currently is early on in the playoffs here. But either way, it does mean a ton. Well done by both of these teams. But shout out to Stickdrift, who that final fight situation, going in and holding on to those ults, being patient, getting neutral picks, and then committing was really big brain.
I mean, dude, I said it before, but like, yeah, if Thieves were to lose, they would go not this match, but the whole series. It's like, then you have Sentinels, FlyQuest, and Thieves in the lower. Are you joking? Like, if you look at it last year, I mean, what a run this would be for the new teams. As we see, yeah, we lost moving on, and Stickdrift, they want to do the exact same and show Group A again. Was that true group of death? And the only thing B was the death of some of these orgs that we know and love in Rivals. 10 seconds to go, and man, I really like this comp here for Stickdrift. It's tough, even in your comp games, to cut through this team up here.
4, 3, 2.
Okay, folks, we're going to see what the attacking strategy is for 100 Thieves, and there's that portal that I was discussing. They are going to commit heavy here. They're not going to have, it's likely going to be potentially a TTK switch, but it doesn't have the Angela, so maybe not. They might stay committed here on the Strange. Sometimes you'll see the team drop portal, drop back into the door, and switch once the team commits. Using it up in this location is a little different. TTK able to jump on top of Logan. What a decision to find one up, and they will not have that BRB, and that's a massive pick on a strat line.
Yeah, that was absolutely removed from the broadcast. Logan was. We're just going to go and get the pick on Vinny. At least slows down a little bit that sustain, but Thieves already looking like they're going to steal this first point because Winnie finds Iffy. Just like that, charging up, ready to roll. You do have Doomed up top, so being kind of that nuisance. That's kind of Namor's throne, if you will. And that's going to have Self then go right after that attack and at least get Namor uncomfortable. The Squid's out of here.
Holding on, there it is. Good commitment there. Able to get the stun. Wasn't able to get it off in that moment. Would have been huge to stun both of them at that point. But you can see dropping back towards the team is going to be Rez with the BRB. Numbers should still be even for this moment. This Logan gets a nice pick. Tones says, let me get one more. TTK falls, and what a good retake here by Stickdrift after losing Logan that quickly. That is just very tough to do.
For sure, and it now makes it a hell of a lot harder to get points because that portal used, right? And that is kind of the one thing that can help get through this tough wall. That is this team comp, and so looking around at what they might want to do. I mean, yeah, you've got the Winnie ult coming up. Not a lot that can capitalize off it. Go aggressive with Self. This is going to be interesting how they choose to handle because it's two kind of I would say not super offensive focused teams, but Delina and Ritas going to try to get some value. Who can get the first pick?
Yeah, it's going to be a little tricky. Doomed holding on to a potential huge whale. Imagine landing one up here. Could be a big problem right now, but I'm not sure if oh, and I might have called it. No, it does find a few, but they cannot clean them up. Good drop back there. Almost a huge ult. Vinny instead is able to find Logan in an off angle we didn't catch on camera. What a play there by Vinny. Another backline pick onto a major strategist. Oh, wow. Pays for it there. You talked about the back and forth from Delena and Ritas. Delena comes out on top there herself. Drops Iffy, and this point might be theirs.
Oh my gosh, you can just see Ritas' reaction on his face. Gotta love these player kits. He can't believe it on the 1v1 against Delina, showing exactly who throws the thorns better. Talk about a tongue twister. Bam, the quick headshot. Goodbye. His gambit. Logan just has to fall off to try to get back from the stagger. And 100 Thieves at 4 minutes to go. Gonna go ahead and have this the initial portal push. I like this aggressive play.
Yeah, we're going to see this a lot from teams at this level of play. If you lose point and you feel like it's relatively early on, you should immediately portal and try to pretend like you're still holding point one and just go down together here. Meteor M goes up, trying to eat some of that damage from Ritas. Silent Plays finds the first pick onto Winnie. Delena able to drop Tones, but Winnie comes back from the res, so still an advantage here. Another pick from Delena, and this just feels like home here. Seeing Delena on the Hella. It has been a minute, folks, but it looks just as clinical at this point. Delena going to look towards that back line. Notice the focus. Forces out a Stratline ultimate, and they retake point. This is all a net win here for 100 Thieves.
Yeah, at this point, just trying to keep this team in any regardship.
Yeah, they're holding on. They're using a lot there, but seriously, I think it was the right decision. Wow, what a tackle there. If he able to clean up TTK. You can see the camera on the ground for Doomed. That's just raw hype. I think he knocked that thing off. Probably doing a Wolverine ultimate or something. Doomed able to find one more. And Stickdrift, really good job on this defense. Their attack looks so good. Their defense on point one was a little dicey, but they're back at it. And we're going to see here, folks, the hold install is still very much the case. And ult up here for Iffy on Stickdrift. Millennia holding on to the Sia. Vinny as well with the Feast of the Abyss. And here comes the commitment now. Millennia going to walk forward and use the Blinky on Rocket. Does so much damage, but it's hard to make that work out when you're constantly trying to make sure your focus is on heals. The Sia goes out, you can get a little more tricky with it. And they're going to start walking them down. 100 Thieves with 2 minutes and 25 seconds on here as they keep going around this first bend. Here goes the Raging Royal Flush now from Silent Blaze, heading backwards. Selena gets up. Oh, that could be a huge eye. It is. Iffy able to try to clean up one, but nobody goes down. Down goes Vinny with a Feast of the Abyss, though. Delena in the sky. Still not able to make that quite work out there with the Goddess of Death. And now everybody drops backward. TTK coming out here with the thing, able to find the first pick onto Iffy. And now 100 Thieves are able to get around this first quarter.
I am back from the dead. I absolutely got yeeted to another reality there for a moment, but the internet's back, good to go. And Delena picking up right where we left off. Minute 50. Now with TTK over on the thing, ready for that clobber time to slam down, land down. We'll see what value Self can get out of here again from this last stand. They push in, and just like that, quickly, Delena finds another Doom. Big hit.
Yeah, good work there again. As Stickdrift down 2 numbers now. Winnie cleans up Tones, and everybody is walking forward. Out goes the dance floor from Logan. Is this going to be enough of an answer? The team's dropping back, electing to play safe with it and trying to kite, and nobody goes down from 2 ults in a row here. Doesn't even move passive. Disgusting movement. Clobbering time goes out, driving everyone backwards. The tackle comes through. TTK drops Iffy, and now Thieves are looking to take point 2, and they might. Yes, they will, folks. What an attack.
Yeah, the fastball special not even needed as both Ding and Wolverine get the job done quickly, finding the most. And oh my gosh, what a quick little poke and finish there on Ritas. So just like that, you can have Self go on to a new pick. This is kind of what we saw Stickdrift do kind of late on their offensive push. Only 2.5 minutes though, man. 2 fights at least to win, gonna make it tough. Doom back on over to the Namor. Ritas setting up defensively. Like the swap ups and comps from both teams there, Ship.
Yeah, good decision making here. Trying to shift the ties and just turn it away a little bit. TTK gonna get off thing too and go to that Emma. It's matched back by Tones. Just try to see who performs just maybe a little bit better, as Ult Avenge is still in favor of Thieves for the moment. Self goes down first on that Psylocke from Iffy. A good job chasing on the Captain America, who has been a mainstay in Vanguards, especially over in EMEA. Here goes the commitment now from Winnie. Everybody gonna walk forward, but they're already down in numbers, so advantage should be in favor of Stickdrift. As Logan gets that pick on Vinny, it looks like they will have to slow up here.
Yeah, that was a massive fight to win there, because Now with Logan and Silent Blaze out, they can farm up a bit more. Logan will be able to get back with 1.5 minutes as well. Millennia obviously has that Sia, but you can burn that pretty quickly. And so gonna be interesting. I don't love ult-wise what 100 Thieves plans to use here to get this final cap. Whereas with Stickdrift, right, Shiv, you have a couple other like final fight finishers, in my opinion, as well as Iffy also having that cap third strat ult. I mean, this is gonna be really tough to break through if you are 100 Thieves.
Yeah, you're going to have to find something cheeky here, Self on Psylocke, because, you know, like you're saying, even Cap can answer that to keep the team up. There's a commitment from the Psionic from TTK, and that really did not net a lot. Instead, Self goes down once more. BRB, and it drops up out. The Sia goes, oh, what a decision here to avoid the whale, hit the sky, and try to look for another pick if he forces to use the Freedom Charge. Heads back to the backline to keep them healthy, but it's matching ultimates, and now the point is scooching forward. Can they get it done with 40 seconds on the dance floor? Going to be the only ult available for the moment, and outside of that, if they're able to hold on through the dance floor, it will be Thieves with ult advantage.
Yeah, try to stall what you can, I guess is what they were going there with Iffy, but at this point, it comes down to the final fight, and that dance floor going to be a huge advantage. Self going down would be the pick of the century, trying to get that butterfly last. Winning at 83-2, that combo would be enough to get that 3rd-point match. Either way, we're about to find out will Thieves move on in this upper bracket, or will Stickdrift Gaming continue to show that they have what it takes for the upset. The invisibility ready. Here comes the Gambit, and the swords are about to dance.
Yeah, Psylocke just holding on now, ready to press Q as soon as that ends. But Doom finds one. The letter comes back in. You cannot fall here, Self. No. Oh, no. What a pick from Regis, who's able to shut that down. Winnie takes out Tones. Regis and Iffy, and that's going to be the hold they needed. Stickdrift says, not today. And they move them forward.
I cannot believe you had the Gambit ult go forward, and Self was just trying to get that last remaining ult charge and unable to get the last finishing fight. And that's what I was afraid of. I didn't know what they really had in store. And with that Regis pick, my God, that was filthy. And why continues to show that this team is stuck together through free agency, through it all, because they believe that they could make a run for it. And right now, their sights are on the land, Shib, trying to advance in this upper bracket. We are tied, buddy, for the BO5.
Oh, man, I love how you called it. You said it was going to go the distance, and folks, it did. At this point, I feel like I'm cursed in the best possible way as we are heading forward to the final match of this series. And folks, we will check it out together right after this break.
Across all time, I see you turning the tides. And do you see now our time, our turn? We can still fight like the wind and fire. And wonder no more that now is the only time your heart is mine. Light has fallen, darkness grows, and yes, we fight for our destiny and fate. New days smiling for the past and future. Break those chains, lead the way, fight with me. And when you wake up, open your eyes, raising up your fists and smashing through time walls before the Oh yeah, oh yeah. 필요할 때 내가 널 지켜줄게. 간절히 바라면 이루어지는 마법인 거야. 운명의 소리 들려. 여기서 저기서 날 찾으면 달빛이 날 비춰와. 시작해야 let's go. 어둡고 흘러는 우주 따뜻한 눈으로 감싸나. 순간 신비롭게 녹아내릴 거야. 좀 더 기다려. I'll be there. 쓰러지지 말 끝까지 일어나야 해. 어딜 가든지 극복해. 힘은 너에게 있는 걸. 소리 높여 노래를 불러. 작은 걱정 따윈 던지고 최선을 다해 결정을 쳐봐. 어둠이 떠 날배까지 아름다운 꿈을 밝혀봐. 우리에게 달려서 그 세계 운명. 어둠이 떠 날배까지 세계 운명. 오랜 시간 간직해온 열망 까만 밤의 빛처럼 빛나. 네 눈앞에 바로 어떤 나라. 제발 딱 봐도 superstar. 딱 보면 모른다. 널 지킬 나란 걸 더 지켜볼수록 점점 빠져들어 카리스마 넘쳐 흘러. Oh yeah. 운명의 소리 들려. 여기서 저기서 날 찾으면 달빛이 날 비춰와. 시작이야 let's go. 어둡고 흘러는 우주 따뜻한 눈으로 감싸나. 순간 신비롭게 녹아내릴 거야. 좀 더 기다려. I'll be there. 쓰러지지 말 끝까지 일어나야 해. 어딜 가든지 극복해. 힘은 너에게 있는 걸. 소리 높여 노래를 불러. 작은 걱정 따윈 던지고.
Hello and welcome back. Down 2-1 against 100 Thieves, against the proven name, against a team with the history. They do not fold or fade. It is Stickdrift with the win on our map number 4. And folks, early on in the day, we had a total of, I believe, 7 maps. We're on map 5 already here to open up the back half. I'm Cozy, joined by Shib, and my gosh, Shib, I mean, is this what you were expecting? I mean, we thought this was going to be a close matchup.
You know, you kind of called it into fruition, man. I figured this would be the closest match of the day, but it's just been close the entire way. It's been down to 0.3 every time. Domination to 99 each time. It's been awesome to watch, so I'm just stoked that it's panning out like this for sure.
I'm telling you, when Shib and I get to cast together, it always goes the distance. As we look at our MVP going to Logan, and really whole team getting the MVP, just self-awareness of the comp and in swapping to what was a better counter and kind of point for that moment. A great thing to highlight is like Doomed had the Wolf ult when they were pushing at the end, right? And you're like, okay, maybe he sticks with it. Nope. Switches on over to the Namor that then proved to be all that and more for them. And I mean, Shib, right now, the thing is it like get off the Psylocke if yourself right now? Like we just both weren't fans of that.
Yeah, it was just, I don't even know what to classify it as. It was like there was the one thing that couldn't happen to give your team a chance, and it happened, right? Like, had ult available, was just essentially waiting out the dance floor, likely got headshot, stun, headshot comboed by the Hela, so it was really, like, it was just so fast, it was hard to react. I'm not sure if any dashes were available yet. I would have to go back and look, but yeah, really unlucky situation there to cut him short.
I mean, and there's a lot to like highlight that happened so fast, as you just said, because the fact that he was going in, he was going to use the dance whenever you had the Gambit ult, was trying to wait it out, and I don't think anybody expected Doritos to have that level of awareness, right? Like to just find the Psylocke through it all. That's the ult tracking at play, because I think he saw the side go in there as well, and was kind of reading the mind. It's like, you know, in like your own comp games, you see the Strange getting a little more aggressive. Like you could tell when that ult's ready to pop. But to have that awareness and to slow the game down in a game that's so fast, in a moment that's so critical, man, it's crazy to see that these two teams, and yeah, we lost, now Stickdrift, potentially new names advancing in this upper bracket.
I mean, yeah, we got to glance at the stats there for a moment. I think the duelist line looks really good from Stickdrift there. I mean, I'm looking 11 finals on both sides. Delena matching it back with 13. Self just not able to get quite as much, but it's kind of funky because you have to think about the fact that Self it's kind of forced out of the Rogue. I'm not sure if that's the decision they like. They want to run the triple stuff, or if they're just, no one's really feeling comfortable on the Rogue, right? And that's a conversation that I think needs to be answered at some point, but did not work for them.
Again, you thought we would have seen more Rogue from them even back in the group stage because they had Gambit. They had a lot of experience playing Gambit, but this team, like TTK, let's just call a spade, one of the best Vanguards in the game, right? Vinny, good compliment. But they are kind of focused on the heroes that they do well on, right? Like that is kind of what has been their Vanguard role. It's why in the preseason even, it was like, what is going on with this team? Because it just felt like they were off. And so I do think that's a lot of the weakness that they do have if you do highlight things, and obviously in that complement duelist role and self. But yeah, what do you think? I think
it wouldn't hurt to be more confident on things like the Venom cap. I think having that in the bag over this last few metas has been very important. So maybe that's in the conversation. I think Angela being banned out definitely hurt them because that's kind of what they've been pivoting to, offer their more comfortable stuff. And obviously TTK is good on Angela too. So yeah, I'm with you. Maybe that's in the conversation, right? It's tough for me to dissect right now, but I will say that Venom cap across the world right now has been like a mainstay on every team. And I think this team lacks the confidence there.
Well, it's funny because Vinny played nothing but cap, right? And that's what we saw. And I think it was Iffy that was able to have that, again, that third strategist ult, the sustain power, and allows your backline to then build up, which had them hold that 0.3. So like there's so much going into play there that cap does for the team. And it just felt like when they identified kind of some of their weaknesses that maybe they did have in the group stage, it was that. And that's why we're not seeing the confidence there, as you said, it put. But either way, yeah. And what does Self feel confident in to complement what Delina is rolling on their side? You know, like even like how, I don't know, the Namor could have come out maybe on their side. That obviously didn't happen. Something they're not comfortable with potentially. Yeah,
I'm not sure. Yeah, you're right though. It does feel like there's just like maybe like a flaw in their comp design. Like they can't resort to something that they sometimes need. Although, you know, it's funny because over these last two matches, they've looked so good on what they're able to run that it's like, I'm not sure that they need it. But then again, you know, because the Psylocke looked all right. The Psylocke looked all right prior, but this match, it didn't ever really work. There was not like a moment that Psy just looked dominant. And I don't know if that's a product of just being on that map. I think Hall to Jolly just as a whole is like a good one of those Namor maps because you can take the height quickly. So maybe it's more tricky to run the Psylocke there without the Namor in play. Maybe that's a different conversation. But the big thing is, I think like you're saying, I think the Cap Venom and potentially having like a more confident rogue that can really dominate might be really good because they're allowing that through for them.
So what do you think? I mean, like we were talking about it, players are getting ready, you know, they'll be here in a moment. We got the Yap Fest rolling on, get ready. But I got to ask, bud, when it comes to the map, right? It's going to be 100 Thieves to pick, which could be a favorable situation here.
Sure.
Usually we see these teams go into Dom because they just feel like that's how they wanted to settle the score. But with how the Dom went to open up, obviously they didn't have the Angela. Things looked off to start.
Yeah.
The Thieves take it there? Like, where do they go?
I think if they remove the rocket like they have been, Dom might be a different story. I think that was really the problem that they had. There's a lot of combination off the back of rocket and just BRB. I think I saw 5 BRB reses in the first map alone. I was like, you know, that's got to be addressed. And if you can't get to it, just ban rocket, I think, because he's really good right now. I mean, he's very valuable at this moment. So that might be a different story, but I'm with you. I'm not sure that it's enough. I think Stickdrift feels confident on domination, just the comps that they like to run, and they're very synergistic.
Dude, isn't it funny, too, that Yggdrasil's path just disappeared from the
I miss it, dude.
Like, it used to be, like, what happened to that map, dude?
Give me that map.
Was, like, all the time. It's gone. It's dead. There's just no, there's been virtually none of it here.
What happened, bro? Everyone loved that map, and Ignite 1, that's my baby, dude. I love Yggdrasil. I think it's so fun, but yeah, everyone just hates it now. I don't know what happened.
Has no chance anymore. But I think you highlighted something cool, and that is that Phoenix is kind of not being that pick. And obviously for a couple of reasons. Now you would think with like Rocket, right? That's where people's head goes. But at pro play, like people are able to burn the Phoenix so easily. And with some of the nerfs that obviously, you know, she took, it does now finally put Hela into a bit more of a comfortable position because you have to look at it as kind of where they want to play the hero. And now Hela is a bit more of that queen from 30 meters and out, which is where they kind of nerfed that Phoenix ultimately.
Yeah, I think it was just enough. And, you know, although it's kind of tricky because like it's weird because I think since Rocket has kind of just moved up in the meta, I would think that Phoenix would scooch up as well. But the focus at team play at this level, they're able to burn that more consistently. That's probably the idea. But yeah, I think it was just enough of a nerf where Hela is back in the fold, just has a quicker TTK at that extreme range that you're typically playing on the off angle, and doesn't hurt that you can team up with Namor, who's not in a bad space or state by any means.
And honestly, you gotta give it up here to Stickdrift, who has not been in this position really. I mean, they did, I think back in the preseasons, they qualled in those preseason playoffs. I think they lost both and got out we lost to end it all. But like, just to be able to like come together as players, it's like, obviously it's like, you can say who wants it more, but it's there's a lot to be said with experience, especially here at the pro play.
Yeah, and also like it might be a nerves thing, right? Like their first time going into it, like when they're just starting to play in pro against these teams that maybe have been around since essentially like beta together on the bright lights. That was their first real go at it, and they struggled a bit, but they've definitely looked a lot more consistent here. So I think this team is locking in as a unit. They're essentially becoming one of those teams we talk about, like Thieves, like Sentinels, where it's like, the longer that they spend together, the better they're going to be because they can just kind of know what their team's going to do without communicating it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, guys, we've got our players ready to lock and load here. I have my mouse open because I'm staring at some new costumes in the game right now. You can get your hands on. We've got the Summer Fest ready to lock and load, and let's take a look at some of these new skins as we give our players a chance to lock in.
성우의 시간. I outnumber you. Your powers are mine!
Assemble! Sorry, soldier.
Well, welcome back to that absolute feast for your eyes, and Captain America getting the whole freedom out, ready to charge ship. I mean, what do you think of these new costumes?
Their eyes are up here. They all are looking really good, dude. I love how a lot of them are like those legendary skins where you can change the outfits, make it more customizable. I think that stuff's really cool. Changing the way some of the ultimates work and the flow. Got to make sure you get those unstable molecules, everybody. Make some changes, because I'm telling you, the alt changes specifically, in my opinion, are so sick.
Yeah, did you see? I saw on Twitter they said, and that does it for wave 1 of the skins. I'm like, hold on now. Is there a wave 2? Wave 3? I'm sure people will not be angry. Can we get a Black Hat skin? I don't know. I'm just saying. I think we might get more costumes potentially down the line.
That's it. Give me a Groot one. How about that? You know what I mean? Let's shake it up. Let's get crazy with it. But no, man. Yeah, honestly, very, very cool. Shout out to the art department. I do not believe these guys sleep at all, because they are just churning out skins, and they're all awesome.
Yeah, man, Groot in the Speedo. That would absolutely, I mean, Vinny, can you imagine the numbers he'd pump out on that? But yeah, man, either way, I think one thing to highlight too that we've seen less of is White Fox. I think obviously in group stage, and I say that because with new skins and costumes coming out, it's so funny. You always get more people like ready to lock down the hero or whatever. But we have seen kind of a reduction in White Fox, and that's, in my opinion, because she, enables dive, is also good against dive in a lot of ways, and that's kind of settled down a bit, at least from what we've seen in the early playoffs.
Yeah, and look at this. It's actually going over to Midtown here for the final map. I actually wasn't sure if it had to be down, but it does not. If I'm just being transparent, it is going to be going over to Midtown here. So I'm looking forward to that final map between these two teams, folks. I am stoked for this. Everything on the line here. I can't imagine how aggressive these two teams are going to play.
Midtown's such a pick, man, and I love it. You know what? I'll be honest. I'm a fan when it doesn't come down to Dom to end it, typically. It feels like sometimes Dom can just be so crazy and chaotic. And sometimes I kind of one-sided, right? Like you could see the ending right itself. Whereas, Midtown, man, there's been a lot of clutch moments on this map in particular, especially for 100 Thieves. And so Stickdrift having to really come up and see what they've done on scrims on this map, what they feel comfortable with. This is a good triple Vanguard map out of the few that are there. That has kind of fallen a bit there in that way ship, but this is one of them that can work.
Yeah, I agree. I think that we can see the triple here. We could see Adam, you know, which Thieves obviously aren't afraid of running. They've done that already today, so could be in play. So looking forward to seeing what's being run. Again, this has the penny potential. This is one of those maps that you can get a little more crazy with it. I love seeing this map here as our final matchup between these two teams. And just to touch on quickly, you talked about Fox, man. You know, just to kind of address your question, I jumped into the map. Yeah, I mean, Fox is kind of taking a seat back because not everybody's diving anymore, right? Like, Fox just kind of struggles into the poke heals comparatively to something like Luna or Gambit, or, you know, the value in terms of ultimate of something like Rocket, right? Really good at enabling dive and playing with dive, but not so great at being more of those like set up build ultimates that your team might need to clutch up.
You said it best, man, and here it is. We got a 2-2. Winner moves on, and we'll fight the winner of our next matchup. We are still in our first set of matches here in Rivals, and I continue to say the gameplay speaks for itself. It's crazy now. Going into what is almost 3 hours, 2.5. I don't know. I love every minute of it. Mantis being banned on both sides. Shocker there. In other news, first Protect going to be on that Gambit most likely. Will Stickdrift finally ban the Raccoon?
Yeah, we'll see in a moment. I think, you know, actually not sure what they're going to want to ban here first. It is going to be the Rocket. Okay, dude, we were saying this might need to be matched back and forth. I think that is a very good decision from Stickdrift and a huge change, finally, from what they've done so far.
Yeah, and it just, for 100 Thieves, like, it just helps enable their gameplay a ton, right? Very aggro, very aggressive focus, and so by getting rid of that, like, if you go back to even Central Park, they won a couple fights going with that Rocket Raccoon. There's nothing to answer it, and they went from there. I wouldn't hate a Luna ban here from 100 Thieves to mix things up. They're going to go with the Rocket, obviously, to start things off. No, going for the Rogue, fair enough, into then what is probably the Rocket. But that last ban has been kind of up in the air for the team, and they've changed that a few times with a different look as we continue to look at the foreheads once again of Stickdrift.
Yeah, I think the Rocket ban needs to come in here, if I'm being honest. Looks like it's going to be the Wolverine instead. This is a decent Wolverine map. This is more brawly, so you can get around, but there might see a lock in here, or they might... I'm not sure. I'm not sure what they want to run here, but I think Rocket or maybe even Star-Lord.
Does that force like a Rogue ban then from Stickdrift's side? Because then that, to me at least, shows that they want to run triple Van potentially again, or they just want to go with the Groot front to back, maybe go with more of the Elsa Groot play that they had on Museum. So it kind of opens up 2 lanes, but yeah, they give them Rocket. Kind of interesting to rely on that last. Really mixing it up here. Remix is sometimes the mascot of this team is their coach, and wow, Cyclops, dude, this is a completely different look.
Yeah, very different. You know, I think Cyclops, like, again, I think he's really, really good. So I'm not saying it's a bad decision, but they're going to be able to get the Cyclops here from Stickdrift as well with the Rocket. So he becomes just far more threatening with that ultimate. So I don't know, man. I don't know how I feel about it just yet. We'll see what Thieves are able to do here, folks, as we head into this final matchup between these two teams. It's been an absolute banger of a series. The first time you and I have met up in this playoffs, buddy. Let's get into it.
As always, and I love the little peep there, the smile from himself when he saw his Daredevil get banned. Hey, go ahead and play Psylocke, says Stickdrift. We don't mind. And if you take a look at what that he did play in the group stage, Daredevil was the most played by him, followed by Black Cat, who might as well be banned because it's garbage. And then Ultron, Star-Lord were the next 2 alongside Punisher. So where does Self choose to go with the play is going to obviously open with the triple Vanguard with the Wolf down. Man, with Vinny and TTK, this could be disgusting because TTK might as well be a duelist, as we know on Mother.
Yeah, very strong, and I think Groot's really good at this map too. So this is where it could absolutely work, and they're going to play hyper aggro with the Loki copy as well on this design plan. Delena's just essentially playing his own game with a hit scan here. This, you know, I don't hate it. I really don't, especially with the removal of Wolverine. This is definitely different, and I love different, man. You know, this is going to be fun to watch.
It is, and it puts a lot of responsibility on Doomed here because, like, he's going to have to hold back what is going to be the off angle. But nope. Okay, Self going on over to the Soldier, so they do change up, at least maybe show a peek of what they'll do on the defensive side ship. I don't hate Soldier here either. Get a peek of what is the first hit now, as you see plenty of Penny play early, and again, they play Penny so passively, though. It's what I've continued to see from this team.
Yeah, it just slows the pace, and it's all about buying time. Penny can get the cheeky picks and You know, I mean, the spawner's gone instantaneously here, but yeah, I'm with you. Usually we see some more aggressive penny door holds. We've seen in the past literally at the door using root wall to try to protect it for longer, and it's had some success. The amount of movement so far, being able to almost get to ambulance, it shows me that this defensive attack is just not working nearly as much as maybe they think so.
Yeah, just forces. I mean, you have to at least hold up one choke or the other. Just got to get off the hero, and being a great pick on the map and against the hero itself, able to get those nests deleted with ease. TTK just holding the pressure on the front line too. So like right now, you're just unable to do much but back away, and you're farming up 100 Thieves. You get these ults going. Winnie already activated, ready to roll, and here goes the Gambit ult. This is going to be full W and press from the Thieves. Ooh.
All right, and yeah, Tone's able to drop the Lena quickly is a huge play after we see the copy comes in from Winnie. It's going to be another pick here from Iffy onto Self, and now Stickdrift are stepping into their shoes a little bit. Oh, commitment from TTK after 2 down. Not sure how much I feel about that, but it's like I lied. Winnie's able to find Iffy. Now numbers pretty much evened out. The res comes through from Iffy, though, back in their favor. Stickdrift walking forward heavily. Tone's able to drop Vinny here on the Penny, who still has not gone down, and I think the idea from the attacking side of Thieves is to try to have Self, who's now actually switching over to Magneto, is playing that Bucky to try to pull Penny off the mine to get an early pick, but really good positioning, playing, like you're saying, really passive from Tones.
And really good patience from Redis. I think he was trying to see if he needed to use the Ruby Rage with that Gambit ult, or if they could just go ahead and move on in and get the picks the neutral way, and they did. I mean, they were able to get it just like that. And obviously, Tones getting that mine elim on Delina slowed down all of that momentum that they had. So they're going to try again here with Millennia. Going to go ahead and give Delina that boost needed. There's a Ruby Rage. Up, down goes Iffy. Don't know if that's the pick that they cared too much about, because that res is coming up, and they're showing what 100 Thieves did this last time. Self needs to get that value out of row. Delina, though, finds Redis. That is most of their damage. They should be able to push in strong here. Tones using what I call the worst ult in the game, but either way, just being a distraction as they move in.
Yeah, it just spreads the minds a little bit by just in time, but Doomed is able to find Delena, and now they are still holding. I'm surprised by that. I thought this was going to be 0.1 here. What a good retake. As the portal now gets committed, this is very much back in their favor, being up a number. Winnie with the only ult, though, in this next fight besides Iffy. Iffy could clutch insanely here, trying to take out the copied Winnie off the Gambit Raging Royal Flush. That would be a disgusting shutdown. We'll see if that works out. And here goes the commitment now. Is it going to be matched by Iffy? Yes, it is. Iffy goes up with the Meteor Ram. Tone's able to drop Self, though. Bang! Meteor Ram goes down, but it does not get the pick that is needed either way. They take this right back in. Oh, boy. They are just playing on their heels, man.
Yeah, this is a weird comp, but either way, it's working. Vinny had 1 health remaining and was barely able to escape, but then ends up getting picked off by Doom. Good awareness there. And I mean, look what we're working with here. We got the triple van, but that one spot that we just said we didn't like, kind of the passiveness, they're able now to hold down, and they got the pick on Stealth. And so at this point now, you're kind of having some spiraling happen. This would be such an sensational stop in defensive hold. Will 100 Thieves have what it takes? Because right now, Millennia is going to be their last option. But don't sleep on TTK and Emma with this ult as well if they choose to go that direction.
Yeah, using this to try to break Mine Spawner just a little bit, give them some space, but the Raging Royal Flush comes right back in. Self does have ult available. Delena very close to, is going to be able to launch us in a moment. Bang, there goes the commitment. Doesn't seem to get enough value. Kraken Impact goes through. Can they clean that up to keep it moving? Doesn't look like the reset was there. I'm not sure I saw it at that moment. As Self is still holding on here. Redis and Tones launch ult, but down goes Redis with that eye in hand. Massive play by TTK.
They're right now just trying to stall and maybe get Redis back, but the portal's already been used, so it's going to be 100 Thieves going to get this point. Coming up clutch, even without the Ruby Rage, man, is crazy. Self was able to get a lot done from their point, and just really good execution, because this is one of those points that you get 2 minutes and 30 seconds on, Shib. World of time, right? Going to be a couple chokes, obviously going to be at least 2 fights. But man, they're kind of going to be able to get back armed and dangerous again, even without the Bucky ult, as Winnie is close to it. Vinny's got his. This is looking scary now against Stickdrift.
Yeah, and notice here, folks, how immediately 100 Thieves push this far forward with the Vanguards. This is the definition of taking space. They want to ensure that if there are going to be 2 fights, they're as far up as possible. Here comes the momentum back, though. They're going to have to drive backwards. Oh, this could be massive. It's cleansed immediately, though. There's a few cooldowns. Crystals go out. Meteor M goes up. The Sia is there, too. Will it be enough of a damage boost to get a pick? No, that's 2 ults for nothing here. It's actually a trade in favor of the side of 100 Thieves as nobody goes down.
Yeah, a lot of hero moments, but nothing landing from it. And, you know, do you like the Penny picking on the penny here on this back point of the defense. Down the ramp, it's a little better. I think you kind of give second point, though, with that decision, right? So, like, yeah, right here is kind of where they're hoping on bunkering down, which you only need 1 point, as we just saw. Quickly escape here as TTK is pushed forward.
They're going to break that spawner quickly, try to get some time back. 14 seconds tone, trying to get a pick as TTK cleans up Iffy here. There's the match right back with the Royal Flush, but they're down a number. That should be advantage in the favor of Thieves in all. But Logan gets the first pick, too. Oh, but the point is already taken, though. It doesn't matter.
That 4 are farming for nothing at this point. I mean, just that was great pushback, but someone's got to get that cap and keep eyes on the prize. We saw that early on. Feels like a day ago, but we had a C9 earlier. Some form of it there, unable to push forward as one, but you know, it always stinks too when you get the team wipe here. We've been in those positions before, right? In comp, where it's just like, yeah, we won, but their spawn now is right there, and we're now kind of playing behind it.
Yeah, they're going to essentially flip spawns here, right? So they're going to treat it like they're attacking. They're going to play down here and hold it here. This is a good idea for what's, you know, this is the only thing you can do when you fall into a position like that. At this point, try to stop them point 3 as early as possible and just play hyper aggro on this defense. The point starts moving, though, putting him in a weird spot. Redis gets the first pick on himself, but like you're saying, he's going to res right behind. It's not a big deal for them. Ult's available here. There's the combination. Bang, bang. Does it go through? It does not. The Sia gets committed as an answer, so a lot of ults are coming through now. They're not afraid to play aggro here as the whole team drops back to the spawn door.
Wow. Look at that rocket placement, too, on the ult. Obviously, you're going to have the Ruby Rage there that would try to answer the call, but good awareness there from Silent Blaze, who has been unable to play the Raccoon. Now can. Like that, the rest swinging clutch. I mean, they're playing in opposite spawns. What is this shit? But it's great. Just sustain and pressure. Down to a minute 20. I mean, what in the world after what was an early point cap and slip through their fingers, now finally breaking through.
Really good movement there by TTK to take to the left angle and hide behind that natural cover. They're going to sweep everybody. But yeah, I mean, that was a good amount of time being bought, and they still held on to ults at the end there. Self actually was forced to use Kraken Impact to dodge the Meteor M that was coming through. So again, some forcing out of ults to make sure you bought enough time. I mean, there's only a minute left here now. Question is, how far can they get this thing? Oh, but the portal comes through. I'm loving this defense here on point 3.
They're playing masterclass right now for defense. I actually think that was definitely in favor of Stickdrift on the way they were able to keep that thing rolling. And here it goes. They've got to win this fight. Vinny does trade with Tones on early. Down slams the Kraken Impact, trying to make that impact for the team. Doom has been on so many teams that have gone so close to greatness. Will this be the one that finds it? Now, again, just trading spots. And even if they lose this, they still have so much room to work with. How much will they commit?
Wow.
Thieves getting it done.
Hey, shout out Vinny here. That Strangling Prison was absolutely disgusting. I mean, there's just no ifs, ands, or buts. Around the Strange Shield on the left side, finding 4. The team cleans them up from there. Not much you can do when you can't move at all, and actually gets rid of the ability to use some of those movement cooldowns. That was fight winning there. Is it game winning as Elena now has ult, Self has ult, Winnie, and Thieves are very much in a position to take this. Blaze, though, Silent Blaze with the Sia. Is that going to be enough of an answer?
I mean, yeah, there's nothing like Vinny on his comfort pick that has been for so long now. Delina trying to focus down, break down that rocket ult. That was all that really Stickdrift had in the bank. It's going to be a while before anything comes from it. This should be 100 Thieves to pick up and clean, but they find nothing from the Kraken Impact or Delina's Ruby Rage. Winnie now trying to get the cards going on their side, but man, it is a great defensive effort. Last moments here to push in ship.
Yeah, I'm not even sure where the numbers are at. It looks to be 5v5 as the points moving. The touch needs to come through. If he burns, a lot of cooldowns goes down. Vinny trying to get this thing going here. Redis on the off angle with the pull gets Vinny, but what a wall to keep him healthy there. Great decision. Oh, Kraken Impact available from Redis. Trying to take towards the back line to ensure that he lands on a clone to burn that, guaranteed to get the reset. But oh no, has to drive backwards. There's a lot of time doing nothing. Oh, Kraken Impact, or excuse me, Rachel Royal Flush. There's the Kraken Impact. Bang! Redis finds one. Logan, Tone, Silent Blaze, and they are gonna hold it. What a stop before point 3.
I mean, dude, that hold was everything because it was, I mean, they were at like, what, 75% whenever they had 4 meters to go, and they were able to get the remaining across the board. Great communication, and then everyone back online, flip the Gambit ult, and win that matchup. Awesome defensive effort. 100 Thieves made, you know, as much as they could out of it. But even after getting through point 2 with 3 minutes on the board, cannot finish. Will that come to bite them and in the upper bracket run? Now, what do you do on the flip side of things here if you're going to be Thieves? You go to the triple Vanguard, you go to that rogue yourself. God, man, this is going to be a tough decision here for Thieves.
Yeah, I mean, you can see Thieves are floating that triple. Yep, they're just going to stall. They're going to have Vinny essentially try his best to just sit on that point and make sure it doesn't move a lot. Self and TTK going to hold the front line, and then back line just do what they do, and probably likely indoors, and then play off a res, potentially 2 reses, dude, which could be nuts here. But yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what, really good 0.3 hold from Stickdrift. I love what I saw. The question is that enough? Because they really started showing up only in those last moments after the first point, which looked insane.
Man, the numbers are crazy on the side of 100 Thieves, too. I mean, if you just look across the board, the value these Vanguards are getting, but it does feel like Stickdrift is feeling very comfortable in what they've got on their side. Now, Delena and Co are going to match kind of the same comp they had on Museum outside of Vinny. Off the tree, going to be on that sustaining effort and constant nuisance that is Venom as well. What do you think on the Atom here? Obviously did not work in favor of them on Museum, but could be a different story here.
Yeah, at this point, I want to see it. At this point, I want to see it work. You know, like I want to see it be really good. I think you could double res here too with Winnie. They're going back to what we saw a few seasons back in Ignite, and it had some success on these triple holds. And actually, you know, it was pretty common tactic at that point. And I think Galena feels confident to be able to land shots here on that hero, Vinny. Again, this is going to be the name of the game here. Just sit on this point 24/7. Delena trying to get a pick on a Doom. Off the dive is still holding on at this point. The point is still moving. Vinny ready to go back in. Doom now being, oh, good play here from Delena, who should find this. Burns a lot of cooldowns. Instead is going to drive him away. Find some more time for the backliner. Still holding on here in this front. Good clean.
Yeah, this is just like sustain comp all the way through. Forget damage. They've got Loki Limb. They've got Deborn again. If they're able to get Delena out early, they would have to kind of abandon this comp a bit. But they're able to now keep him alive. He challenges Doomed on that matchup. Wins that. Now TTK, oh my goodness, able to get the quick eyes on him. And Blaze matches it. But man, this is just going to be tough to burn through. Because even if you get through this, you have Born again, you have a portal at play. There goes Delena. Does have the passive res though.
Yeah, passive res available. It's not quite there here. It looks like that's going to be a big sweep. I don't even know if they're going to force res out. Might just elect to drop back with the team because they just don't have a chance of making it happen. No matter what, he's going to get chased down. So yeah, he's going to drop back to the team. Cancel that out. Delena will still be holding on to that passive res. Yeah, I mean, here comes the portal play. Yeah, they're going to play on the ambulance. No, this is fine. This is totally fine. Again, both sides looking good right now.
Yeah, because Delena fell, but it was like close enough to this res in Born Again that allows them to sustain it. And Winnie also has it, so they're going for just like kill the time as much as possible, right? As now they have to find a pick early, locate that Delena. But even going back to last year, when Delena was so slippery as the Atom, really good awareness and situational placing of where he needs to go. Beater in, ready to rock for Iffy. What do they decide to do here as Millennia going to throw up the invisible boundary? Can they find self from it? Self-defines Tones.
A lot of commitment there, though. It's still, I mean, that was really well played by 100 Thieves. Vinny dies backline. Tone's going to be back in the fight. Numbers are even. Meteor M goes up for Iffy here. Is that going to land? The res is still available from Delena and Winnie, or at least, you know, pretty much Winnie can copy whatever he wants at this moment, depending on what they need. Regis going to find TTK. Stickdrift now going to be up a number, but the res comes out from Delena. And use that aggro to bring everyone back quickly. Not going to worry too much about being safe with it. Iffy drops Vinny. Millennia. Delena going to bring Vinny back, and that's why you just commit heavy when you have that Karmic Revival out, because it doesn't matter. You're right back in the fight. In fact, even with a ton of overhealth, and they're still holding on here. Oh, it's massive! TTK gonna find everyone. A Glortrox. This is a lot of commitment, though. Not all needed. Now, hoping the Sia's there, so it is worth it now, as they use the Sia as an answer in maybe a situation they probably shouldn't have. Wow, Thieves!
Hot damn, this is chess versus checkers right now with this comp lineup, because like they just don't have any huge burst damage, but damn, do they have a ton of burst sustain. I don't even think that's a word, but either way, able to push through. Now you're having to just swap to something that can pump out more. Regis going on the Moon Knight after those nerfs. Didn't think we'd even see him here in Ignite. Either way, pushing through, but man, if Delena even gets close to this ult again, it's gonna be curtains.
Yeah, Doom trying to commit. Good push away there from the side of Millennia. Try to buy some time, and what a delete. Goodbye, Doom. Great focus from the backline to ensure that does not get value. Now they're even at ultimates. Tones holding on to his Strangling Prison. Again, Thieves were in this position shortly, or on their attack, excuse me, and they were able to make it work. Self drops Iffy, and now it's dicey once more for Stickdrift. Tones still has that. Oh, the Feast comes out, trying to force some staggers here. Regis makes a switch to Moon Knight. It's been a while since we've seen this hero being played.
Yeah, either way, it comes down to this last moment. Look for Tone's ult here. Can he line it up with the most important wombo combo with the Moon Knight for the dreams of the upper bracket, and the upstep has been cooking. Regis has the hand, ready to call with the Egyptian god answer. Now as they look for the setup, Tone's trying to find his moment in his window.
There it is. There it is. And able to get through it. Wow, it's huge. It is huge. This might have been enough here. That is going to be 3 as OT is still moving forward. And oh my goodness, what a battle.
What season is this, dude? This is season 1. Like, it's going back to Adam Warlock. We've had the Hella Namor show up. I mean, everything's back. Born again. Will they lose or win again? Up goes the Foundry. Dude, this is chaos.
Oh, it goes out the Feast combination. Tones is able to find one as well. And now Stickdrift are back up in numbers by 2. Meteor M available here. Doom's able to drop TTK. And all of Thieves are falling. This could be it for Stickdrift on point 1. They need it. They will get it. What a clutch attack.
Oh my gosh. Go back to the tried and true. And at this point, Delina probably going to swap off the Atom. But I mean, just the perfect amount of sustain. And now they end up matching exactly what Thieves did. Bringing back the portal. Why not? Continue to just drain the clock off this time. Keep the comp. It's working. Shib, they are absolutely putting Stickdrift to the test. And Rita's already back up close to the Khonshu. Tone's getting going to get close there on his combo as well. We know how quickly that Vanguard can get healed.
Yeah, I mean, this has been some textbook Marvel Rivals. I'm really liking how both these teams are looking right now. I think they're sticking on this comp, which I'm not 100% sure about. The portal commitment goes out, Self goes up with the Meteor End, looking for somebody. Keeping DD away at that moment, just going to yeet it downtown, not going to land. Now eyes back forward. Looking at Doomed, who's trying to find the backline play, is instead going to have to drive away again. It's all about time here. The point doesn't move because look at Vinny just stalling that point for days, and that is what Cap and Venom do so well. It's all about this point. It doesn't matter what your stats look like if the point doesn't move.
Yeah, I mean, they know the win con, right? Like, here it is. Can they survive throughout it when he's going to throw the lamps out that do keep things alive enough? And Millennia as well, they find nothing. And that is everything as a minute 20 remains. And they're able to stay healthy throughout it. TK might fall here, but either way, Delina at 70%, the passive's ready to go as well. They've got to find value from this Gambit, or it could be an early curtains. They find 3 ship.
Yeah, good play here now. It's just so back and forth. It's so awesome to watch. Redis going to drop TTK. Redis, somebody stop him right now as he's looking for a 3-piece and a side of fries. Well done by the Moon Knight. And I'm telling you what, we haven't seen this character in play in like the pro scene like at all. So welcome back to the Moon Knight.
Yeah, Moon Knight definitely taking a step back after what were some major nerfs, but still does one thing great, and that's cook up the ult and the tried and true that we continue to see. Good on placement there and pressure. Obviously going to speed up some of the strategy ults that you do have to look out for. Either way, Winnie getting close to it. Delina as well. The Born again ready to ring through the halls, and Marvel Zombies coming right at you here. It was a massive piece of the Abyss here with the Rocket Raccoon earlier. Will they roll it again? Looks like Stickdrift is hanging on to it.
Yeah, I think the idea now for Thieves is, like you're saying, just get that res available. It's very difficult. Oh, what an eye again. TTK is just not missing those right now, but nobody goes down. The Sia gets launched here as an answer from Silent Blaze. They're trying to wait that out. There goes the res. Everybody back in the fight. TTK retaking point priority. Trying to take this away from them. Comes in, takes out 2. Tones is able to match it right back, but it doesn't matter when they're all res. Back in the fight. Overtime is ticking down. The portal play needs to come through. Iffy making the switch over to Strange. Redis trying to keep this KO streak alive. It almost does. Out goes the Moon. Does it get a pick? It does. On to Delina. Another pick on the Self. The portal comes through. Are you kidding me right now?
Absolute cinema here as quickly it is the last hits of the Born again to bring the team back into the fight, and it is a stall mate here in the middle of the portal play. Both strengths are out, cooking and whipping. Quickly, Iffy putting on the forward drive, and nothing but neutral. Millennia's going to have that Gambit ult, going to press Q as quick as possible, give this team the upper advantage. Can 100 Thieves survive the upset? They look like they do, Shib, with 3 down.
Oh my goodness, the Thieves steal the win away. What a game, and way to make this series an absolute banger for everyone in the stands, man. That was a blast. Well done.
That is experience, buddy. That is composure, and that is the team that has been challenged again and again and continue to find the new identity that is them. Stickdrift pushed them to the absolute limit, man. Made them look uncomfortable, but it's Thieves finding the answer when it matters most and getting away in that getaway card once again. But what an absolute pleasure to cast that with you. And for a viewer perspective, what a way to have day one.
Man, that was nuts, dude. I mean, I can't express it enough. That was just so fun. I mean, they didn't run the Gambit on the defense. I'm curious to ask them about that. Clearly don't necessarily need it, but what a decision. I mean, running that triple the whole time, switching it up over only after Portal, and it ended up working out. Thieves really kind of figured it out.
Dude, That comp was disgusting. I mean, like, it was legit just lined up to take as much time off the clock. And if they didn't get Delina down early, like, that was it. That was kind of the answer. Love the aggressive portals. I feel like that just kind of highlighted, like, who the Thieves are and how they play. My God, the upset was right there. And if you're Stickdrift, you know you have so much of what it takes. Now have to prove it down there in the lower bracket as we take a look at the MVP. And, of course, it's TTK.
TTK coming out on top, almost 70K blocked, almost 45 done. I mean,
Bro,
the amount of landed eyes, bro. How many times, like, that was so consistent, the landed eyes. It converted most of them. I think the last one was the only one that was shut down by Asia, but it did force out that ult as well. So really well done on the Strange.
Bro, this is vintage Thieves. The fact that TTK has 44K when the closest to it is, Raidus at 47K on Moon Knight. Are you joking?
Yeah.
I mean, absolute across the board looks like plays from last year, bro. The Atom, I mean, more and more to call out. The Moon Knight Groot, yeah, the Luna Namor. I mean, it's everything kind of ringed out through the history of what has been this esport.
I mean, dude, I got a smile on my face. That was so fun. That was so crazy. Like you're saying, it brought me back, man. It's what we saw early on Ignite. I love these triple comps on point one. I think it's super fun to watch. I think they're hectic. I think they're crazy. The Born Agains being out there. The team's trying to find solutions. I loved the huge land of the combination of the Groot Knight. I think that kind of brought me back a little bit too. No matter what, this was an absolute pleasure to cast with you, man. And what a win for Thieves as they move forward on the upper side of the bracket.
Yeah, we continue to highlight, obviously, Thieves winning. Big tip of the cap to Stickdrift Gaming, who, I mean, you look at a couple months ago, nobody would even have him close to this situation. Rose up right to the test, down 2-1, and up against the wall, but unable to get the job done. And that is, you know, a lesson that they'll learn early in this esport. Can be so punishing as, you know, get a win in that upper bracket and your ticket to land gets that much easier. But it's 100 Thieves once again making this an entertaining night. Only loser here is myself, who didn't pick to eat dinner early, buddy. We got a long one coming, and I can't wait.
Oh, man, yes, we do have another series to go, folks, and we will have an interview coming up here for you guys in just a moment. But I mean, there's so much to digest about that matchup. It really shows you how the meta has looked so different from what we saw just a month ago. And that's the beauty of Rivals. I'll stand by that till the day I die. I mean, the fact that these teams have to adjust and to find a new solution and still adopt and try to figure out a meta as they change monthly with new heroes is just a testament to a game that forces your team to be adaptable, and 100 Thieves are adaptable.
No, for sure. And it's what we've come to expect of the players and of the org, and really just showing the flexibility that this team has continued to show. I think as we've watched them now stage after stage, they've just sharpened up their roster and fixed some of the mistakes early on. And definitely Stickdrift, you know, you could look at it as a big upset, but they got second in the group. They looked dominant. They beat teams like, yeah, we lost 2-0 with ease. You know, impressive across the board. And look at this stat highlight show. Just enjoy things like the 76K damage block there from Vinny, or the damage there on the side of TTK Chaos.
Yeah, and then you see Raidus, yeah, obviously on the Moon Knight 15 finals, doing the job, showing that Moon Knight is still available. Tones with 12, and we saw some of the big alt combinations. Some real, I mean, 54K healing there from the side of Silent Blaze, who I shout out Silent Blaze again on the controller, has consistently topped the charts in healing numbers and had really good alt placement. I think that's something that is just very difficult to do that fast on controller. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it is just the way, but looking really good out there.
Yeah, and I mean, Delina getting 10K healing, even just on that last point with Adam Warlock, where you're just kind of trying to stay alive and do the best you can in those situations. 51% accuracy, disgusting. I mean, across the board, just clinical from 100 Thieves to show, again, you know, where experience comes to matter the most, and just so entertained, because now 100 Thieves will be playing the winner of this next matchup, which, you know, obviously one thing we'll ask them when we do have our interview ready to go here in a moment is, likely we look at it and we think it's going to be someone like Swamp Gaming. Heck, let's just welcome them into the interview. Yeah. They're all together, but we've got ourselves Winnie for this winner's interview, and we are glad to have them as they just pulled off what was a crazy game. Everybody, welcome in Winnie. First off, congratulations. Oh my, Jeff in the background.
Yeah,
explain to me, Winnie, how you feeling?
I'm feeling like excited. It was like a super close series. Obviously, like a map 5. We were kind of like expecting like an easier matchup, to be honest. But like Stickdrift like was up there with us, like competing. We also like kind of feel a bit like our maps, but it's fine. Like nothing that it's hard to solve.
Awesome. I mean, what do you attribute the change to your team? You guys, you know, you maybe struggled a little bit map one. What changed in terms of flow? Was it the ban phase that allowed you guys to start stepping it up against this team?
I mean, to be honest, like map one, we always have like a bit of problem. Like our dominations, we always struggle because we're like a team that needs to like start like warming up, and our warm up was like a bit late today, so we were like a bit cold when it came to domination. But like after that, we just like started like playing as a team, playing together. Like the energy was like coming up, and I think like B was like cool seeing that.
Cool.
Can you tell me like what you guys worked on a little bit in the couple of weeks that you had off as Remix slams the shield? Love to see it, man. I mean, we had what? Millennia was mainly on the Gambit. Then you kind of took over that role, right? And then like you guys, it looked like you swapped up some of what you've done to prep for this phase. You know, take me into the last couple of weeks and how you guys have prepared for this new meta.
Like obviously, like in preseason, like teams started giving us Gambit because they saw that we were not like a very good team with Gambit. Like we didn't have like a very good rogue player. Like our triple tank was like really bad, and then like our Gambit player was like a bit like struggling on it because of course like Millennia is really good, but he comes more like on a DPS role. He used to be like a DPS player, now he's like transitioning to support. So of course he's like more comfortable on this Luna. Like he's excellent on Luna. He like hard carries on Luna, and like his Gambit was a bit struggling. And I was like my old Gambit player on my old team, so we thought like, oh, let's give it a chance. And I think we like doing much better with like these swaps. Also like shout out to my tanks because they've been like playing a lot of rogue, and it's also like something that we've been improving a lot on.
Awesome. I think is tricky and worth noting, and I actually want your feedback on is that final map there. You're running Loki in a triple backline composition. It is very difficult for me to understand what is your goal in terms of alt copying. Are you looking to double Adam the whole time, or are you trying to copy an answer strategist ultimate? And what's the thought process for you back there?
So we saw that they were like staying on the Green Moon Knight. So my thought process was like, if we don't have Adam dress for the Green Moon Knight, then I'm gonna copy Adam, so I can like, we don't need to use a defensive ult for that, and we can just like come back alive, and we can just like use the Adam ult for that. But like normally I will just look for the enemy Gambit because they were playing Gambit. So if we're like on Su, I'll just rather copy the Gambit. Because it also like allows us to build like this Adam ult, this Su ult like much faster. And I think like that's like probably my priority will be like Adam ult if they have like a combo to kill us, or if not like Gambit ult.
Cool.
Was that always the strategy going into that last bit there? Was kind of like that sustained comp that just takes up so much time and eats the clock? Like whose decision was that? Did you guys know you're going to run that from the get? It looks like you maybe were going to go triple Vanguard with Self. Like it was interesting on how that kind of formed there at the very end.
Like we knew that Stickdrift like was a very like Penny pro team, that they always like going Penny like on defense. So when we went to meet them, we knew that they were gonna like pull out the Penny. And when they gave us a rogue, we were like, oh, maybe we should play like rogue with Gambit because it's like something that's like so strong that we value a lot. But then like we were kind of struggling with like this triple Vanguard composition, so we ended up swapping like two guns, and it like worked out much better. But then like on defense, we saw like we had a really good attack that like we kept like till third point. So we were like, oh, maybe we can just like play to stall, like play more defensive and just like eat the clock out. And like, well, it kind of worked out at the end, so we're happy with that.
Last question to you, man. Looks like you could play, obviously, T-Saber Swamp. Let's just say it's Swamp. You obviously were 0-2'd by them in the group stage. Do you think your team's ready to prepare to go and get the revenge match on them?
Yeah. We're so ready because, like, so far we like go for against Swamp, like when it comes like to overall, like in preseason and in stage 1. And like we've been preparing really hard, and I think we have like a really good chance against them. And yeah, we will see, I guess.
Awesome. Well, go celebrate with the team. I know that you guys are hyped to win, and job's far from done, but congrats on the upper bracket win, man. And again, thanks for coming on for the interview.
Yeah, thanks for your time, Winnie.
Thank you so much, guys. Buy 100 Thieves bundle. Bye-bye.
I was wondering if it wasn't going to get slipped in there. I was like, it might not happen. No, it's there.
Right. You get the little mood right there of the Jeff, the war in the eyes, Jeff. But cool to hear from Winnie.